Council lady, you want to be a chair?
Oh no, honey.
I'll be the chair.
I don't feel like no. I'm really staying home and Somerset is on. No, I got some coffee.
Yeah. The Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newark Municipal Council's public meeting. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Go ahead, you're the leader. The Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, council members. Council members, in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice has been provided to the Star-Ledger, the Jersey Journal, and to the public at large establishing the date, time, and location of this meeting. May I have a roll call of those present, please?
Commodore absent. Gonzalez.
Present.
James absent. Jenkins.
Present.
McCallum.
Present.
Osborne.
Present.
Quintana.
Here.
Ramos.
Here.
The first order of business will be the appointment of a temporary president. Council of the Whole to appoint Councilman Carlos Gonzalez as temporary president.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
James absent. Jenkins.
Yes.
McCallum.
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Quintana.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. President, we are now in the hearing of citizens. Welcome to the Newark Municipal Council's hearing of citizens. Only those individuals who have signed up by the closing deadline will be permitted to speak this evening. When your name is called, please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You will be given 5 minutes to speak. When you begin speaking, you will see a small timing device on the podium in front of you, which will begin counting down your time. When you reach the 4-minute mark, the yellow light will illuminate, indicating that you have 1 minute remaining for summation. When you reach the 5th minute, the red light will illuminate and there will be an audible sound. Please look forward and speak into the microphone. We are recording these procedures, and if you turn to speak with the audience, we may miss part of your statement. Please address all questions to the chair and not to individual council members. The first speaker for this evening is Lisa Parker.
Get an extra 5 minutes, right? Because we had to wait almost an hour for y'all.
You get 4.5 minutes.
5 minutes?
4.5 minutes. We'll cut you out after 4.5 minutes.
You wish. Good evening. Lisa Parker, resident of Newark. Congratulations to Murphy and thank you. And our Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver. They had an exit poll for the state of New Jersey, and they asked the people what was their priority or what was concerns them about their state. And the exit poll by 63% said that government corruption was their #1 issue. And Virginia said healthcare was their #1 issue. So I want to lead that into economic development benefits corporations and not everyday people. Cities across the country provide millions of dollars in incentives with the promise of job creation. We know this is not true, using the example of Panasonic, who received $102 million with the promise of 800 jobs. To date, they sold the building last December for $165 million, and we got 0 jobs for Newarkers. Who benefited from that deal? Shame on this administration for not investing in Newark's future. This body continues to approve property being sold at a fraction of the assessed value, and you wonder why Johnny can't read, because we don't have money for education because you're giving the land away. Riverside Urban Renewal assessed at $5 million, appraised at $2 million. Why is the land sold for $50,000? Passaic Street Urban Renewal assessed at $1 million, sold for $40,000. Hay Avenue Urban Renewal assessed at $1 million, sold for $50,000. McCarter Industrial Urban Renewal assessed at $1.5 million, sold for $40,000. If the city needs resources, why is land being sold at a fraction of its value? If you respond by saying contamination of the land, where is the remediation plan in the EPA report with costs equal to the property value? In the past 3 years, this council has voted in favor of the mayor, the developers, your cronies, and donors. And yet, Newarkers are not your priority. No viable jobs, no viable training, no strategic plan for the growth in our communities, and people being displaced and disenfranchised from their communities. Where's the return on the investment for Newarkers? City Hall, the house of shame, is being defined by being morally bankrupt, incompetent, disrespectful, unprofessional, agencies like sanitation, code enforcement, performing poorly. My street hasn't been swept in over a month. Economic development and planning in bed with the developers, some municipal council members' failure to address constituent concerns, negative press about the mayor and his posse. In 2018, don't look for support or a vote when you have turned a blind eye, a deaf ear, and turned your back on the people that voted you in office. Newarkers need a government that will promote, advocate, and secure a future for Newarkers without corruption. In the words of the late Frank Hertz, somebody is going to jail. And Newarkers, we need change in 2018. And I'd like to ask, why hasn't the project with Kabori Tucker been questioned? If it was a city lot to begin with, it was bought with CBGB money, and then it was resold. Why didn't it go back to the city? Why isn't anyone questioning this? And where are the state monitors to vet all of these projects that y'all continue to pass and selling for a fraction of the price? Any response?
Yeah, Council Lady.
Your time expires.
No, it's not. I got 18
Then-
seconds left.
Complete your time, and then we'll answer.
No, let her speak. Let my councilwoman speak. I'm good, I'm done. We gonna get change in 2018. That's all I got to say.
The question you asked, Lisa, in regards to the properties that you just gave us copies of, the ones on Haynes Avenue, the one on Riverside, Urban Renewal, that's in the North Ward, the other one in the South Ward, and the other one.
There's
That-
one missing of my copies. That's the one on Passaic, Hay Avenue, McCarter, and Riverside.
Essential word.
Yes.
They all ain't Central Ward. Some of that is North Ward, right?
The only,
Yeah, it's
Wait a minute, who-
mislabeled. It is a Central Ward property. Councilwoman knows.
It doesn't
Wait a minute,
matter.
wait a minute.
You're selling million-dollar properties for a fraction, and this has been ongoing for the last 3 years.
the thing that you just gave us, Ren, this was given to us from Ms. Parker? Okay, let me go back and start with page number 6. You gave us in regards to the redevelopment project for warehouse distribution. There is contamination at this particular site. Now, the question was asked earlier, I asked it at the pre-conference we had earlier today. Why, when we have an assessed amount, an appraised amount, that the sale amount shows such a small dollar amount that we're getting back from the city? And as you stated, it was said that there was contamination, okay? Now, one of the things that I said was the Economic Housing and Development Department, along with engineering, has a responsibility to put that kind of stuff in the documentation of the agenda, because it's not fair to the taxpayers who get this and see that there is a variation of the sale amount and that it looks like we're selling it for much, much less. Now, the one thing I did not request that you suggested was a copy of the DEP report to say that it is contaminated. So we have Mr. Colon here from Economic Housing and Development. We also have Mr. Green here from the administration. With these projects, we have the documentation that shows it in Legistar that DEP said that there was contamination, so that the amount of cost that the person that is remediating it is being offset, and that's why the dollar amount is showing $40,000 for a project that was appraised at $1.3 million. That's why I stated earlier, the public has a right to know. You could put it in the Legistar for council people to see, but if you don't explain it to the public and show the documentation, then that's not fair to the public, because they don't see why we're selling it at $40,000. So, is there any way this evening that we can get copies of those reports from the backup, Mr. Clerk, so that people will see by the time we get ready to vote which of these projects have DEP contamination and how much it's going to cost the buyers of the property? Because it's not fair, like I said, first of all, to the public. It's their land. So if we don't show them why we're selling it at that amount and that there was DEP approval to allow the purchaser of the property to offset their costs because of the contamination and how much they're spending, that's why this dollar amount is so low, then they have every right to come up and question how full we are in the head. The other thing is, the same thing with these other properties. Before the vote tonight, we need to make sure that the DEP, I didn't ask for the certification to be printed for the public, but I did say that the public has a right to know. And last but not least, in regards to any properties that have been let out to any developer that there is a question about, the council is going to have to review that and see if they're going to proceed. We have to get corporation counsel along with the administration, not the administration, our council, to review it and say, do we keep the thing down there with the garage with Mr. Santos, or do we revoke that? You know, there's some issues concerning the whole property and whether or not his financing was legit. Because if you come back and say that the financing that he was involved in some kind of straw buyer deal before, how do we know that his financing was actually real? So we have to come back and look at that as a council as a whole and see if everybody has the fortitude to look at that, but also get legal opinion.
So
Because
there'll be no vote on that until we get a remediation plan in EPA. Is that
But
what you're saying?
It's on, they have it in Legistar. So what I'm asking the clerk's office to do is by the time we have the public speaking and we get ready to vote on this, it should be able to be disseminated to those in the public who want to see it.
And we got 3 years of sinkholes for lack of remediation of the land where I live at. Can't resell the property, but you going up on my property
Your
tax.
5 minutes are expired. Next speaker, Mr. Clerk.
Dallas, you doing a great job, man.
Lisa Pringle.
Ms. Pringle,
Not appearing.
not appearing. Next speaker,
10-4 Evans.
Ms. Evans.
Hallelujah.
Well, good evening to all the council. I want everybody to have an open mind and think what I'm going to say. If I don't say it right, let me know now. First off, my name is 10-4 Evans, P.O. Box 2367, Newark, New Jersey. One thing, I understand that Lisa raised the issue. I understand what Councilman Cheneyfield said. But first off, before you did all of that, you should have had all your work in order. When you put that on that paper, it should have been in that paper in the first place. You just can't come and cover up something and say something later, because I saw y'all had the pre-council meeting today. That should have been in there. Economic development, y'all keep on changing these people in these jobs, but they don't know these jobs. Now, I'm tired of that. There's a new man in economic development. He should know what he's supposed to put in that paper. We are not no dummy. We are the tender. We pay tax and live here. And we have a right to know what we're getting involved in. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Now, get back to these roads. I have a question on about these streets. And the sidewalk, I'm tired of people don't know what they're doing. You don't go out there, start on a road, and don't finish it. At nighttime, you're going on one side and the road in another side. It is so dangerous. It tear up your car, tear your tires up, and you don't want to pay nothing. Now, I want to know why we can't get this together. Councilor Gonzalo, this should be an issue that you should be getting ready for the people and who are concerned about those roads. We are citizens, okay? Someone like to hit me up thing. Now, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to go up here and be passing my hand, because I want some action. All right? Then next on the land, and next on issue, that we should be able to address the issue and tell the people what's going on. Y'all still have these backdoor deals. I don't want no more backdoor deal. I'm going to call you out on it now. You hear me? Because you be sending that tail, you're going to be woken up in them tails. Another thing, too, I hate to say it, but I'm going to bring it out anyhow. I'm a male getting in more trouble than anybody I've seen yet to be a mayor for the first term. What I need another mayor to do another term, and ain't did nothing. He was not in this term, not even 4 years, but don't caught him in some illegal thing. Now I wonder what y'all gonna do now. As I say before, you can sit up there and pacify women if you want them, but you will be out on the ground this time around. I will be campaigning very hard and make sure. I am so disgusted. I'm so embarrassed, man. People calling me tenfold. What did you did in North? What happened? What happened what? Look at your mayor. Look at the record. And once with him, his brother suing him, now his girlfriend in the paper for tax evasion. What next? Do people think your personal life should be in the paper? No. You should clean it up. Should have been cleaned up. It should not have been like that. Now, I want people to understand, don't come up here and vote these people in and don't know what you're voting for. Because I was stunned. That was well in California called me. I want to know how they got it so fast. Council, all of y'all up there, y'all can't talk to your mayor? Or y'all just concerned about what y'all can win for next time, huh? I think you might don't win nothing. You don't know how to talk. Y'all just bow your head and sign them because he say sign. I am tired of those things going on. Council President, since you're the president today, Gonzalo, I want you to get busy. Ramo and Lewis, I hate to call you in the entertainment room. And you, Ed Osborne, I'll just take you in the back door. Okay? All right, Joe, I can't do too much to you, but I will deal with you when I see something.
I want to back up. Happy Thanksgiving
All right.
to you.
My 5 minutes not up yet. I got my time. Listen to me good. I don't get on my time now. I know when the time's up. This clock ain't went up. So you don't kind of push it so fast neither. But anyway, y'all have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody do all right and do good at the palace. Have a blessed night.
Thank you.
You as well.
I'm a junk car dog.
Now she told the audience to clap.
Dog.
Listen,
Next speaker.
she told the
Jackson.
audience to clap. Go ahead, 10-4.
Hope Jackson.
Ms. Jackson.
Not appearing.
She's not here.
Manura El-Bamani.
Monera.
This is great.
Manera El-Bumani, citizen of Newark, a longtime community activist. First, let me give honor to the Creator for allowing me the opportunity to stand here and also to congratulate Councilwoman for bringing this governor, who is governor-elect, who also had my vote when he brought Sheila Oliver on board. So, because I actually didn't vote for him as a governor, I went with Jim Johnson. But I want to thank you for, your fight for bringing this governor here, and me having faith in your, bringing him here. He had a great choice, Sheila Oliver. So I spoke about the crisis in this city, that it's a systemic crisis, that we need systemic solutions. And I want to reiterate the crisis all over again. Housing. There's a chronic homelessness issue, high foreclosure, lack of preserving housing, abandoned and vacant properties issues, and lack of affordable housing to meet the needs of the residents of this community. I said before, there's been billions, millions of dollars allocated from the state and the federal government for home, HOPWA, chronic homelessness, and the low-income tax credits for low-income people. Why so few get it, I don't know why. But my question was to the council, where was the real transparency and oversight? So I said to the council at the last meeting, if council people and politicians were serious about the housing needs of this community, you will create real structure and establish an affordable housing task force to monitor the housing programs. But today I will bring to you and present actual model that is going on in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So hopefully, from this point on, we will begin to dialogue to, come up with this task force to do the monitoring oversight of these millions and billions of dollars that's been allocated. I also talked about the billion-dollar boom, construction boom. Elected officials, I said you provide huge tax abatements and city dollars to developers and contractors, and most of them make promises of jobs and apprenticeship. So I also came with a solution, and I present a model to you to create an apprenticeship for contractors. And which this model calls on developers and contractors who are receiving tax abatement and public funding or local fundings from the city of Newark to train local residents, VA, on-the-site VA, trained to hire Newarkers on these non-union construction sites. Now, we know that union construction sites have to pull in union people, but there's a lot of non-union contracts going on in this city that needs to hire the bulk of the residents in this city. I also want to come to you about an issue about outsourcing. Now, the procurement officer, Jerome Wakefield, came a couple of council meetings ago and talked about he had a plan of action, a strategic plan in writing to present to the mayor, and I don't know whether he presented to the council yet. But we have business owners who are doing business, low-scale businesses that are not getting the jobs from the city. Now, you talked about it at the council meeting that any contracts that's $17,500, thank you, should be going to small businesses. Now, I don't know why this lady brought up this issue while I was in fast signs, that she did business with this city and somebody did not pay her money. They have a contract with her, and they didn't pay this lady her $2,000. Now, we're doing business, people, in this city like this. We have a serious problem here. So my question to you is, who's dealing with the small-scale businesses and stopping the outsources from going on in this city? Because no small business should be coming to me and talking out loud about the city didn't pay them for their contract. They got to work there, but this person at the recreation department, Mr. Gregory, did not pay them their money.
Your time is off.
My question is what these folks gonna do about it?
That has been my concern for 11 years, that we have contracts with the minority suppliers, suppliers that provide services to the city, and the city then pays them 90 days later. So in some cases even more. So that's something that we have, I have expressed concerns over for 11 years, and nothing has happened over the last 3 or 4 administrations. So hopefully we can work on that and make sure that people are paid on time, because otherwise they don't want to do business with the city.
Okay, so the first stop you need to make is the
Your time
fast signs on Market Street.
Your time
Because
is
that
up.
lady got a project done, and these people from the city is not paying her for her work that
Mr.
she
Clerk,
put
next
money
speaker.
into. So you need to have.
Claim with the law department.
Next speaker.
Also, I got something here that I put
Your time is up. Officer, remove her.
Miss,
I put an open request in, and it's going on 2 months now for some information, and I want.
Please. Move.
listen, she's walking away from the podium. No, we'll,
Go ahead, Manera. Come on.
wait a minute. She's moving, officer. Munira. Munira.
Excuse me.
All right, don't pull her arm again. Listen, let her go and sit down. Officer, Munira, go ahead and sit down, please. Come on, go ahead and sit down.
She creates the problem.
That's right.
Next speaker.
Sit down, Munira. Sit. We can get that. Sit down. Mr. Green. Miss Bunami mentioned Miss Bumani mentioned a particular vendor, fast signs or fast quality signs. Can we just make sure that you have somebody look into that from purchasing to make sure that that vendor is being reimbursed, or has what the problem is that they haven't been reimbursed to date?
Yes, ma'am. Michael Green, Assistant Business Administrator. I'll look into that fast signs.
Next speaker.
Thank you.
Also that.
Extahar Abu Tap.
Good evening, amazing people.
Good
evening,
evening.
community. I'm here tonight.
Your name and address, please.
I'm sorry, yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ezdahar Abu Hatab, 96 Halsted Street, Newark, New Jersey, 07106. Tonight, I came to say thank you to all of you amazing people. The last meeting that I was here, and I presented you with a big issue and a big concern, and all of you, immediately the next day, you took action. There is a camera that was installed the following day, and it's a rotating camera, and I couldn't have asked for more. I appreciate it, and I'm grateful. Words cannot express how thankful I am to all of you. I've always seen you as people that are part of the solution. Yes, we all come, scream at you, yell at you, and sometimes even we call you awful names, but we want you to know that we're coming asking for your help, because you're the ones that represent our voice. You are the ones in this city that can help us make our city stronger and better. And I just want to tell you, yes, you've solved an issue and a big concern, and you've made my neighborhood safer for my children and all the houses and all my neighbors. But remember that other neighbors and other places in the city of Newark needs your help and needs your attention. And not every resident can come to every city meeting and present their concern to you. But I am aware that you're aware of the issues and you are taking steps forward. Another thing that I want to present to you, that there is in Newark a lot of vacant lots. And a lot of these vacant lots, many of us in Newark think of as places where can make Newark beautiful. there is a lot, right, very close on my block. It is lot number 124, 132. And my husband and I, we have leased it from the city of Newark, and we've been taking care of it every day of the year. But dumping, because a lot of people know that this is not privately owned, there's still a lot of dumping on that property. And now we are seeking to buy it. We want to buy that lot, but we've been calling the city and wanting to buy it and make it a garden and make it a positive representation of the people of Newark and where we reside in the city of Newark. So please, tonight, I'm asking you for another thing. Please facilitate for us to buy this lot, 124-132. It is a lot that is constantly a place of dumping, and all my community, and a lot of them are here tonight, are aware of that. It's part of our accountability document, HOV, which is Hearts of Valesburg. Again, I want to tell you, I am so proud to have you as my council members, the people that give me voice and give the children and the families in the city of Newark power and respond to their concerns and their issues and make it a commitment. This is not, there isn't enough in the world, there isn't enough money in the world to make you do what you do. You are a public servant, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Miss Abuhata, Miss
Miss Abu.
There is a process to buy the land from the city, and I understand that they are going to have let's say, a solicitation of bids for lots. I encourage you to apply to buy the lot that you want. Julio Colon is here, and he might be able to help to assist you with the process.
Awesome. Because we've contacted the city, and the city had an auction not too long ago, approximately 2 weeks ago. And that's why
It's
we
not
were.
next to her. Yeah. If the lot were next to you, you had the right to buy it, but it's not next to you.
No, it's not.
Okay. Next speaker, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you so much.
Dion McCutcheon.
Mr. McCutcheon? Not appearing.
William Lane.
Mr. Lane?
My name is William Lane. I live 44 Muhammad Ali Avenue, Newark, New Jersey, second floor, 07108. I'm here because I was wrongfully accused on my job. I've been an employee for Newark Sanitation for 21 years. I've been accused of picking up illegal stock. I wasn't there. I have a problem, and the manager and the director have a problem with me. They actually took over and made this problem personal. They wrote up all kinds of bogus write-ups on me. They suspended me while I was on vacation. I've been out of work for 55 days. They told me that I had to go to a hearing. Okay, I went to a hearing. I won the hearing. The hearing officer said for me to be put back to work whole, fully exonerated, back pay. The manager found out about it. He did not, he talked to the director. They didn't call me back to work. My bills was piling up, so I had to find me another job. I want to say that I've been coming to City Hall, knocking on doors, meeting people in the hall. I've been begging and asking for help. Nobody is helping me. I picked up garbage in this street in the city of Newark for 21 years. I started off behind the garbage truck. I moved up to a garbage man, to a truck driver, and then I was doing so well that they volunteered and made me a supervisor. I was appointed. I've been a supervisor for the last 10 years. I had to find me another job. All I want now is my back pay. I don't want to go back there. This thing is real serious. The manager have his voice so far up in the director's ear that he ain't made a decision by himself since he was appointed. Listen, I might get some backlash, but this is the only time I have to talk about it. You all have my hearing paper up there. It says for me to be made whole, put back in the position. It's no lie. What they was accusing me of, I was not there. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let it go. I was a supervisor over garbage trucks, over garbage men. You need a vehicle to supervise. I didn't have a vehicle since May. I've been telling this manager I need a vehicle. He told me to use my own car. I used my own car because one of my men got hurt. I said, can I please get some gas? He said, buy your own gas. I did that. Now, I was out of work. When they told me that I could come back to work was the 6th of this month, last Monday. They also called and told me to report to traffic and signal as a truck driver. I never worked in traffic and signal a day of my life. I did the snow. I did y'all houses. I know exactly where you live. I did all of y'all. I picked up for years. I need help. Could somebody please answer, could you help me? Just give me my money. I just want my back pay. And I want my sick days. I want my vacation. I just want to be gone.
Thank you, Mr. Lane.
Could somebody elaborate? Could somebody talk to me? Could somebody say something?
Mr. President, can we extract what this gentleman is saying, and what this gentleman is saying, extract and send to the administration and to the Department of Personnel?
Yes.
Because this is an issue of personnel,
Yes.
and it's an issue of the administration. So it has to be addressed with them, and we should get a response. We should get a response of what you're saying. We need to know in correspondence of what it is that they have to say of what you're stated here tonight.
See, I'm
not going to go back and forward because
I know I didn't have enough time to speak.
I just want to put on the record.
Yes, sir.
That you're not coming back.
No, sir.
And
I'm
that
done.
you want your fair share.
Yes, I want my.
That's all that you have stated. But I want to know in writing from the administration and from the Department of Personnel, how are they going to handle this situation, and not, just put it under the rug. And because what you're saying right now is that your back pay is owed to you. You were supposed to come back. You were supposed to go back to traffic and signals, and you don't know nothing about traffic and signals. So that's a personnel matter, and the administration should address that.
Yes.
Mike Green.
Council lady,
Just one thing, because this is a personnel matter, you made a statement that we have your documentation regarding your suspension.
We don't.
We don't have that information. That was not passed out to us. But Mr. Green, who was the assistant business administrator, we didn't get that.
Sorry.
Okay?
I asked the young lady, she misunderstood
But I'm
me.
saying, the issue is, as Councilman Quintana said, Mr. Green is aware of the situation. The council must be made aware, not should be made aware, must be made aware of the disposition of what happens
That's right.
with your particular case.
Yes.
You know, it's ironic that Dr. King went down to Alabama to talk about the garbage men when they were going on strike. And he talked about the fact that we're supposed to treat each other with pride. And I am a man, okay? And we can have our differences, and we can politically agree to disagree, but no one has the right to take a man's livelihood away from them, to be punitive. And we have knowledge of it not just happening to you, sir, but to others. And Dr. King also said, it's not the chatter, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm very angry at this point. It's not just the chatter and the noise that your enemy makes, but it's the silence of the people who know better and are supposed to do right. The silence in the city of Newark is deafening on so many levels. And let me just say, for 21 years, in the heat, in the snow, in the rain, in the cold, in the most unsanitary and hard times, you gave your service to the city of Newark. And that's one of the things I was talking about when we were discussing the retirement benefits, the retirees, the health benefits. Regardless of whether they were police officers or firemen, they were workers. There were times when you might have missed a child's recital. There may have been days when you missed going to somebody's birthday party because you were probably working overtime, helping with the snow or whatever. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the city of Newark for your 21 years of service. And Mr. Green will be looking into that, and definitely the council will be following up on that.
Mr. Lane.
Because you're putting a face to what we know. And when we remain silent, that means we're part of the problem.
Wow.
Mr. Lane, you're claiming what is yours. I don't see how the city will not pay you for the accrued vacation, accrued sick leave, and any other benefit that you are entitled to. And I look forward to receiving from the city as early as possible how they are going to deal with your liquidation.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I thank all of you for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming forward.
Yeah. Next speaker.
This is the copies of the thing for the DEP stuff.
Mr. President, before I call the next speaker, I'd simply like to inform the public that the environmental documents that they were talking about for those 3 items that Ms. Parker gave you are available on the table in front if anyone wishes to inspect them.
Now, 2 of those properties that Ms. Parker spoke about were already voted on. It's
Yes.
just one, the Passaic Street. So that documentation should be presented to the, you should have the copies of the the consulting group that works with DEP made available to the public through the clerk's office, okay?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to, and I was going to wait till the item in the Central Ward was voted on, but at the pre-council meeting, I asked a series of questions regarding the proposed sale of these two city-owned properties. If anyone's familiar with the North Ward, one of the properties sits on the bottom of Verona Avenue, right on McCarter Highway. The city's actually tried to put it up for sale at least a half a dozen times, and the property is highly contaminated. One of the questions that was asked as part of our deliberation at the pre-council meeting was the estimated costs based on EPA analysis and other reviews for cleanup, the developer commitment as part of that cleanup, and the administration, after a number of unsuccessful attempts over the last 10 years, was able to identify a proposed buyer and developer for the site. And the second location is off of Chester Avenue on Riverside, which is probably the top illegal dumping site in the North Ward. Again, a city-owned property that over the years the city has tried to sell unsuccessfully, highly contaminated. And again, if you read the record of the pre-council meeting on that date, there were a number of questions that I posed on the record, and Deputy Mayor Garcia, as well as representatives from the proposed developer of those sites, did answer those questions. So again, these are sites that have been city-owned for quite some time, highly contaminated, and again have been put up for sale via auction and rolling sale a number of times on behalf of the city unsuccessfully. And I would assume that the same thing is true for the Central Ward property that's on the agenda today. So,
Mr. Clerk, next speaker.
Sharonda Wheeler.
Ms. Whitler.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pull the microphone down, Mr.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I would like to give you guys this. Can I?
Somebody from the clerk's office, please.
While she passes those out to the council, I want to first say thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to speak here this evening. My name is Sharonda Wheeler. I live at 17-26 William Street in Teachers Village. That's 07102. Did I give you everything? I am I'm a social service worker. I am also the president of a nonprofit organization here in the city of Newark called Newark Pride. Standing with me is Callie Perez and her mom, Lillian Perez. I sent out this letter on November the 1st. I've sent out an open letter to Raz Baraka, our mayor, and I CC'd all the council people, in which I mailed and hand-delivered to all of you. So I've just brought another copy in case you did not get a chance to see it. I would like to read it out loud if you don't mind, so others will know why we're here. It says, Dear Honorable Mayor Raz Baraka, with the recent events of the vicious attack of a high school transgender student, Callie Perez, we are writing to you with the purpose of a resolution to protect all Newark residents against bias crimes, setting a zero tolerance for bullying and adapting anti-bullying campaign to educate students and the public and bullying to promote healthier relationships, increase awareness, teach students how to successfully handle conflict, and will foster progressive change. With these preventative measures, it would provide a structured framework for addressing a culture of hate and abusive behaviors that have developed in our community. The resolution will implement anti-bullying and violence measures across the city. In 2003, Sakia Gunn, a 15-year-old lesbian, was murdered in what we deem to be a hate crime just a few blocks from here. Since then, countless attacks have happened in the downtown district, and some have gone unreported. Can we both agree that we must set precedents that no longer will hate crimes be tolerated in the city of Newark? Politics aside, working together with community leaders, clergy, stakeholders, and civic organizations is our responsibility as a community to take charge and speak up about issues and matters that affect us all. Newark Pride is just one of the many organizations that came and that was built out of the blood of Sakia Gunn. And we formed in 2005. Here we are in 2017, just years later, in spite of all the reports that crime is lessening. You know, data shows that the, crimes against the transgender and the LGBT community is rising. Over the summer, we had a transgender woman on Branford and Broad beaten up, and the video was circulated all over social media. Just a month ago in Eastside High School, Callie here was attacked by some fellow students. And just a few weeks ago, a young lesbian in South Ward was shot and killed. These attacks must stop. The mentality and the public abuse has to be addressed. Was Sakia, was Callie, and was the other young lady that was beaten not enough? The LGBT community has rallied collectively. We provided support to families, to schools, and individuals where we could. We need to do more. And I'm here to ask the city to work with Newark Pride and the rest of our LGBT community, the organizations, to help us do just that. How does the city of Newark deal with these crimes against the LGBT community? Does the city, to me, the city appears to not have a clear policy on how to deal with LGBT community. Newark Gay Pride wants to see policy developed to protect the LGBT community. We want a resolution to protect all the residents here from bias crimes. And we also would like to say that we want to work with city council and city officials to develop these kind of programs in our community. I'm working with a professional company now where we're doing planning around programming, and we're going to be coming back to ask the city to support us in that. And this is something that will wrap between the schools, the hospitals, the public, administration, that we all be on the same page about anti-bullying and hate crimes in our city. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Ms. Wheeler, are you working with the LGBTQ Commission as well?
No, I just work with Newark Pride. I mean, we know we have a commission. Rarely are they seen, working in the community with the other liaisons of the LGBT community. So there's this kind of distant relationship from the real stuff that's going on in our community.
Well, one of the things I would suggest is that the LGBT community come together themselves so that they can truly speak in one voice, whether it's the commission or whether it's Newark Pride, to come together and help to create the policies, because I know that is a mandate of the commission to create those kinds of policies.
Well, I mean, as an individual and as an individual leader, I can't force us to do the thing that they signed up or they held their hand up and said that they would do. So me as an individual and as a leader show up to the fights or show up to the rallies and call them out as needed.
Well, besides the commission, there are other organizations of the LGBTQ community.
If you look at the letter is supported by many people in our organization on the state level, the Essex County LGBTQ, allies in the community, who else? Advocates in the community. That letter is signed by people from state, county, local, and myself.
But that's what I'm saying. Just have that committee come together and formulate the resolution.
Okay, and form the resolution.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So you can address the public policy issues that you're trying to address.
Okay.
Okay?
Look forward to working with you in your future endeavors. Let's say whatever we can do to assist. I know that my significant other, my wife, she works for the school system, and she went to the meeting that they had at Eastside High School for that specific issue. And that's something that shouldn't be tolerated. That's something that has to be taken out of any reaction that we may have against each other. That shouldn't be the case. Say simply because you are different, they should not attack you. And I support you 100%.
Well, absolutely. And again, we are developing policy, and we're in the middle of planning that we will bring back to the city council and to Mayor Raz Baraka, asking for support and funding and things like that behind it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Mr. Clerk.
Brenda Toyloy.
Ms. Toyloy is not here.
Tamika Crosdale.
Ms. Crossdale?
She's here.
Good evening, how you doing? My name is Tamika Crosstyle. I presently reside at 440 South 19th Street, second floor, Newark, New Jersey, 07103. I'm a Section 8 tenant.
Thank you.
I'm here today because I have some serious issues and concerns. I was given Section 8 in 2014 for a safety move. I have all my paperwork here where I'm clued on what's the definition of a safety move, because from where I stand, there's been nothing safe about that whole move. I've got run over thanks to Housing Authority, going back telling everybody, and the person that I had the case against ran me over June 7, 2016. I recently got back to the point where I can actually walk and move around and things, but I have permanent nerve damage and problems with my body now. And on top of that, they had my address to the new place where I currently live now. I've been on top of Section 8 just about every month, putting in a relocation paper. I've been denied each time. I was just given a Section 8 voucher over a year later to move, and now a couple of days ago, I was given a packet, October 18th to be exact, to relocate, and told me I had to be out by November 30th, which is the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was told I can't move, but I have the Section 8 voucher, portable voucher. And I presently live in a house where it's illegal to be. I have pictures. I don't know if you can see the pictures, but I have various pictures.
You have to send them over here so that we can.
I have various pictures of the property where I presently live at right now. I've been complaining about the property for almost a year. There's been a gas leak. I fought with housing. They were aware of everything that's going on. From day one, I've told them about the gas leak. My son has been bitten by a rat or mice. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. There's been a bad infestation with mice. I live right next door to an abandoned house where God only knows if somebody should be in the house, which every month they raid that house and take people out. If it catch fire, there's no way for me and my kids to get out of that house. The front door is the only way in that house and the only way out the house. I can't climb over a roof unless I break my entertainment center, which I have presently sitting by my kitchen window just in case of an emergency. There's no sprinkler in the house. Up over my kids' head in their bedroom is the boiler. I think the boiler. I'm not allowed to go up there. There's no battery in the smoke detector. And a couple of days ago, last week, the smoke detector was going off in my part of the house, saying fire, fire, and my stove and nothing wasn't on. I haven't been able to use my stove for almost 6 months. I haven't had no heat for almost a year. It's just been one constant thing after another. I've asked the landlord to sign a lease termination. He told me he don't have time to find no more niggas to rent his property. I've been called a nigger for all of a year. My kids have been called a nigger. He's come to the property and threatened me and my kids. DIFAS is aware of it. Section 8 is aware of it. I can't get no help. Right now, me and my kids is a prison in the house that we're renting, because the person that I have a case against has the address, sits outside the house in the graveyard, takes pictures of the house. My kids hasn't been outside to play in 8 years, which is not fair for my kids. We're living in a prison ourselves. Everywhere I go, I'm looking over my shoulder because the person's family members have been running me down, pulling up on the side of me, trying to kidnap my son. I have no life. All I want to do is relocate, take my kids and get somewhere safe, because the next time, there's no telling if my kids are going to have a mother or not. I might not look up the next time and be able to get use of my legs, my arms, or mobility back the next time. They might be pulling a sheet over me, and then it'll be too late for somebody to help me and my kids, which I think is very unfair.
But let's say the question is, why would you, let's say you can take your landlord to court based on the conditions that you are showing us here, and no judge is going to force you to live under those conditions.
This folder right here, what happened with that property is The landlord has friends in Section 8. Each time I call them and they come out, their friend come out. They pay them some money, and they go on about their business. I've called the fire department. They've come and shut my house down 3 times. They took my stove out the house. My stove has given me carbon monoxide poisoning.
Those conditions are deplorable.
One of the members down here on the council board had bought me 2 radiators, which I presently have in my house right now, because I didn't have any heat. They took a brand new stove out and bought me a stove that they picked up out of a dumpster somewhere. I've had pictures of that. I have pictures of everything. It's just a point of me going back through my phone to find all of the pictures.
Councilman Quintana, yes.
One of the things, we got to send code enforcement. I mean, I don't
I'm
care.
sorry.
We
I
gotta
called
send a
code
fire.
enforcement.
Listen,
They never
this
came.
is, I mean, when I seen your pictures, no one should live in a condition as such. And, you know, for us to give vouchers to folks, for folks to make money, and then have you live in these conditions is just not right. We need to get an inspection. We need to know from you're on Section 8, right?
Section 8. Yes, this is my first year dealing with Section 8.
They should go out there and inspect.
When they go,
Number 2, the city.
When they go out to do inspection, nobody has any knowledge if they're actually going out there, because when they go and inspect the house, like my house that I'm in now, they never came and inspected the house. They went to another property that the owner owned, which it meets Section 8 requirements. They take pictures of that place. I don't even know if they take pictures or not, but they show them that place, they passed it, and you move into a place. I begged for window guards. I moved in the house June 30th. I never went upstairs in the house because I begged them for window guards. I'm not taking my kids in no property without window guards. I don't play Russian roulette with my kids.
Mr. Clerk, let's if we can write a letter to the Department of Code Enforcement
And to Section 8.
and
Section 8 is aware of it,
Housing
and Code
Authority.
Enforcement. I've called both of them, emailed them.
and we want them to report to us when they inspected the property. We have pictures of the condition of the
You can
property.
keep these pictures.
That those I'm telling you that the conditions that are shown on that picture is something that I cannot. Nobody should be living in conditions like that.
No.
My grandchild.
But wait a minute, let me ask you a question, because I didn't see the pictures yet.
You can have
Yeah,
them.
no, but I'm just asking a question, ma'am. Your Section 8 was granted to you by Newark Housing Authority?
Yes, a safety move.
All right, so it's a safety move.
Okay.
Okay? And you're saying that by November 30th, you had to move, but now Section 8, Newark Housing Authority Section 8, is denying your ability to move.
Yes.
So we can't write a letter because she got till November 30th to get the heck out.
I cannot, no, my lease was up July 19th of 2017. I had to send out a lease termination. The landlord told me he don't have time to find no more niggas to rent his property. He never signed it. I've sent, I say, 3 lease terminations. I went to court. He's taking me to court. I don't pay no portion of rent. The landlord has taken me to court for various things. I told the judge, Your Honor, I don't have a problem leaving the man property. All I need him to do is sign the paper for me to move. He won't do it. He will not sign that paper. I complained to Section 8. Nobody is doing anything to help me. And worse, the person that I'm on the run from has access to that house.
You have to,
When I told them, they said it's not their problem.
yeah, it has to go to landlord-tenant. You will have to go to the landlord-tenant court.
I go to the police
I
again.
went, I've done that.
Because
When I
there's
got
nothing
run
that
over,
we
the
can
police
do.
they never did anything to help me.
President,
Yes,
could
Councilman.
I offer a suggestion? We have a new director of the Housing Authority, Mr. Victor Cirillo.
And we have a commissioner here.
Yeah, and
that
this
can
is an
talk with
issue
the fair housing
it's just
officers.
not happening with you. We do have a number of tenants who have Section 8 vouchers through the Housing Authority that have relayed complaints and issues regarding the conditions of their apartments. So I would ask through your chair and through the clerk's office that we contact Mr. Cirillo immediately. We have a commissioner here as well, and that they do what they have to do within the Housing Authority, because that's the source of their income, is this voucher that Newark Housing empowers this landlord with. And for them to authorize him to receive a subsidy for an apartment that has, such poor conditions, is beyond our understanding.
Yep.
So
Ms. Crosdale.
Mr.
I
Clerk,
asked them to stop paying them. They told me they can't do that.
next speaker, Mr. Clerk.
But right
Okay,
now,
Councilman Osborne was getting ready to say something.
Crosdale, Trent, could you get her information, and tomorrow morning, you got an open case at the Housing Authority, right?
I'm
You
sorry,
have
I
you have a case number at the Housing Authority for,
For Section 8.
I didn't hear you.
Do you have a complaint through?
you have a
Section
case number?
No, I don't know how all of that works. I've
did-
dealt with Dwayne Knight and Betty
Walton.
Walton.
I would get Trent's information. I'll make some phone calls in the morning.
Here's all my paperwork. If you want to take a look at it.
His aide is in the back, Trenton Jones.
Something else, right?
Next speaker, Mr. Clerk.
Tariq Rahim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll talk to Victor in the morning.
My name is Tariq Rahim, 25 Eastern Parkway, Newark, New Jersey. I serve as the president of the Heart of Vailsburg, and the topic, quality of life, particularly in Newark. I saw some graffiti on a supermarket's on Mount Vernon that said, "Hopeless," real big, written out, "Hopeless." And I should have took a picture of it. But a few days later, someone crossed out the "less" and spray painted "hopeful." When you hear situations like that, we just heard, those kind of situations are happening all across the city. In Georgia King Village, you name them. And I applaud her for coming up and sharing, and I also applaud the councilperson that's advocating and taking that issue so that we can get something done for her. It's a big thing. Every Newarker has a right to good health, safety, and security. It's a right, and we have to fight for it. One of the ways in which we do it at the Heart of Vailsburg is we had come up with this accountability document, which may be in circulation, and it takes on issues similar to that, dealing with the hundreds, if you will, slumlord or illegal abandoned properties that squatters are living in. We still have that. They represent fire hazards on Norwood and a number of streets that you'll see outlined in the document. But we also have situations with illegal dogs in this accountability document, illegal dumping, drug trafficking, illegal putting signs up, particularly during political campaigns, but also businesses, they don't take them down. A whole host of issues that come up. And one question that's raised at the top of the accountability document, question number one is, what is the collection rate of the clean and lean? So we got all these abandoned properties. How much money is coming in on the collection of the fines? So I wish they would. I wish they would. We're looking for that. And so we're wondering, is code enforcement at work? So what we do here at the Heart of Vailsburg is we have this meeting on the first Wednesday of every month. It's a General Assembly meeting, they call it. I call it an empowerment session because we try to empower residents to tackle big problems. And they tackle some of those big problems that you heard of today with the help of police officers, code enforcement, fire department, health, sanitation officers come in there. Some city council members have sent representatives there to help residents deal with issues. We had nonprofit organizations like the American Red Cross, New Jersey Tree Foundation, and a number of groups come in to help residents take care of some of the things and work in partnership with government. Residents also learn about how to create gardens, but that's the light stuff. Financial planning, fire safety, neighborhood block watch, how to deal with trauma, and how to advocate for their own concerns and win. At the end of the day, what do we want? Well, what we want with the Heart of Vailsburg is we want to change hopelessness to hopefulness. We're looking for, at our next assembly meeting, we're making an appeal for the head of code enforcement to come on in and help residents that are having issues with slum lords. We're looking for the city council to perhaps amend the budget so that the areas where we have blocks and blocks with abandoned properties, that when the money is collected, that it gets a little bit more of the money comes back to the block that needs it the most, instead of going to a general fund and going to who knows where. I get the general fund, but it's only fair to those people living in those conditions with those houses around them. We're also looking for city council to send a representative, send a rep to the meeting so that you can meet other residents like the lady that just spoke and offer them help. Some of the seniors are looking for help. Homeowners and tenants are looking for help. And the only way we can do it is by, hopefully working together. And that caps it off. So let's make it hope. Let's change hopelessness to hopefulness. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Mr. Clerk.
Donald Jackson.
Donald. I know it sounds like Donald, but it ain't. Donald Jackson, 79 Tracy Avenue, Newark, New Jersey, 07108, 1531. North, we must be insane. And understanding the definition of insane is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. We have been voting line A in the city of Newark for nearly 60 years. And what do we have to show for it? The same thing over and over again. And I'm not talking about the governor's election, because that has term limits, right? So every 8 years or so, we'll see another governor. However, our legislatures, when we're talking about purging and doing something different for 2018, we can't just focus on city council, the mayor's office. You got to focus on your state level as well. You have folks who've been in training for well over a decade. And what have they produced? What have they produced? You have folks who sat on the county freeholder board well over a decade. What have they produced? You have folks who sat in D.C. for well over a decade. What have they produced? Newark, stop voting for the same folk, even though they got a different face. Stop voting for the same folk and expecting something different when they've shown you year after year after year what they're going to do. They're going to come, buy your burger, give you a CNC soda, tell you to vote line A all the way, and go back in the house. Now, one of my biggest frustrations with every last elected official in this city, whether you a state, local, federal, county, school board person, is the fact that we haven't spoke about any of this crime that has ran rampant in this city. Saturday, I had the time to actually listen to a police scan. I hadn't done that in quite some time because I was going through some little family/personal issues in which I had to rectify, so I didn't have the free time, if you will. But all day Saturday, that radio was non-stop. The calls were non-stop. The carjackings, the shootings, the robberies, the domestics, the calls for medical services, non-stop all day Saturday. I didn't even get a chance to turn it on Sunday. I wouldn't even want to listen to it. But that's the reality that we have here in Newark. And we need to put politics aside for just one moment. Because I know everybody wants to say, oh, well, that was the last administration, and since I've been elected, we've put this plan together to put that on this side and switch this fund over to do this, to do that. But what has it really done? I mean, come on now. You have to drive down Clinton Avenue. You have to drive down Broadway. You have to drive up Ferry Street. You got to see the same thing that we see. You have to. And if you have the real constituents in the community, like most of you, or excuse me, all of you say you do, some of you I've seen you do work in the street, so I'm not going to question that. But if you have the real constituents coming to you like you say you do, you know the issues. The people that come here and talk about the housing quality, that's nothing new. We've been facing that for over 60 years in this city. And where are we now? We want to change city ordinances to make things easier for developers, while Norcas, residents, are still standing here complaining about the issues that they have. And these landlords make money off of money off of money and have to face no retribution from the city on the laws that they violate. Then you look through the city council agenda and you see land that's assessed at $1.2, $2 million, $3 million going for $50,000, $40,000. Now, someone told me that the reason that was because the land was contaminated. Now, unfortunately for me, as much as I understand what you're saying, where's the proof that it's contaminated? And if it's contaminated, then why is the land still assessed at $1.1 million? Wouldn't a contamination bring the value down? That's just like if you have a 5-bed colonial house sitting in Forest Hill, beautiful, beautiful, sitting on an acre of land, and you got a farm and a barn house, but all your plumbing is bad. Your foundation is crumbling. That would definitely take away from the value because you got to fix all that if you buy it. Now, if I'm wrong, correct me, please, because I don't know everything. But these are just some of the inconsistencies that I see, just reading through some of the information. And then there's no pushback. There's no questioning. So Newark, I'll leave you with that message. Please wake up and stop voting line A, because you're going to get the same thing you got.
Next speaker.
Dorothy Brazell.
She don't want to speak.
Not appearing.
Rosemary Horsley.
Appearing, yes.
How's everybody doing this evening?
All right, you, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to thank my councilman. He's not here today.
Lower the mic, ma'am.
Hello, okay.
Yes.
I want to thank my councilman as well as Executive Cirillo, Commissioner Osborne, and also Baez for co-chairing our meeting October 25th for Terrell Homes. It was a great meeting, questions were asked, some of the questions were answered. The main thing is, can we trust all of the above with the statement of repair and replenish? For years, we have been sent, since 2013, propaganda, sheets of propaganda, and different things that Housing Authority was going to do for us, as well as the blatant lie from our mayor. He told us that he was not here or there concerning Terrell Homes. I went to see him as well as the other ladies from the tennis league. I sat so close to him, I held his hand, and he told me that he wasn't here nor there. And prior to that, we find out weeks before he had signed yes for the demolition of Terrell Homes. Who do we trust? As we know, concerning this redevelopment of Terrell Homes, we must apply for the RAD program. Thank you. But along with that RAD program, we must submit a plan in order to apply for these funds. It's time for us to get together and form this board. Myself, as well as the ladies on the tennis league of Terrell Homes, are charged and ready to go. Let's do this. Also, we, the ladies of Terrell Homes, had our own conversations concerning this redevelopment and renewal of Terrell Homes. We believe that when the time comes for the repair, that we should not be thrown out of our apartments. There are many empty apartments already at Terrell Homes. Let us redevelop, restructure these apartments, and then shift the residents who want to remain into those apartments. The ones who want to go, let them go. Later on, they will find out they're not building no more low-income housing. There is going to be no Section 8, and they're going to realize that Terrell Homes was their best choice. And as we know, there's another little cliff to this moving out and then rebuilding, refurbishing, and whatever. We all know you never come back. You never come back, and everybody knows that. Either you are not willing to keep uprooting yourself, or they have a law written someplace that you cannot return to your place of residency. I sat here and listened to these horrible stories concerning these apartments with rats and roaches and things of this nature. We don't have that. The reason why they want us out is because someone is in Terrell Homes' pocket and someone is being paid off. But swiftly, 2018 is approaching, and those will be sorted out. Thank you.
Mr. President, I like from the city clerk to extract every single meeting of Terrell, issues that have been brought before this body. I would like this to be put together and given to the congressional member who represents that district in the United States House of Representatives. I don't want to play any game with anyone, but I think that this item needs attention of a congressional member who represents that district in the United States Congress, who is Congressman Albio Sirius. I have talked to his office about this item. I would like to get every single thing that has been said, because it is time that the cat gets, I mean, some people want to walk around like they understand, but this is a time that we cannot continue. I sat here and I listened, on many occasions sat here and listened to the hue and cry of the people at Terrell Homes. And we can't continue to put Band-Aids on things. People cannot be continued to be in this situation. I cannot, the new director of the Housing Authority inherited this. I just can't say this is his, But again, I'd like to extract every single item that has been placed by speakers on this, on the platform there, who have said about Terrell Holmes. And I think that Congressman Albio Series, and I will address that to his office, that we should call a what is the problem? If it's a problem that I don't want to put that somebody wants to take this property. I think everyone deserves a fair housing. People have lived there for years. This is not time to find reservations for people. This country, you have found reservations for a lot of people and displaced people in this country. But again, I think that Congressman Albio Series' office should, and I'm urging his office, to do a hearing about this issue of Terrell Holmes and bring it to a close, because these folks continue to come before us, not because they want to come here. These are the people whose hue and cry is concerned, the quality of life for them. And we can't continue to be blinders and being blind. The people of this city, whether you live in affordable housing, or good housing, or Vailsburg, Weequahic, the Forest Hills, we all need to live in good, decent, affordable housing. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I'm urging us I want every single statement that has been made about Terrell to be given to Congressman Albio Series, who represents this property in the House of Representatives of the United States Congress, and who can get some answers from HUD.
Mr. President.
Yeah, Council Lady, yes.
Would you please make sure that in addition to all the transcripts of the residents of Terrell Holmes that have come before the microphone here at the Municipal Council, that you reach out to the Board of Commissioners through Councilman Osborne as a Commissioner for Newark Housing Authority to get all of the transcripts from their meetings regarding Terrell Holmes, for the Congressman Series to be able to effectively look at all of the information. It just is not the information that has taken place here at City Hall, it's the information that's taken place at Newark Housing Authority as well. And the conversation between the Executive Director, Mr. Cirillo, and the Board of Commissioners, there is no reason for anyone to have to move out when you have empty apartments, because I know for a fact when we give tax abatements, and I'm the chair of the Tax Abatement Committee, when we give tax abatements, one of the things that these groups, these landlords say, is that they have gotten the science down to the fact that they can remodel an apartment in a day. So they have people go downstairs in the community room. They have people go out of the building for a day. So if you're willing to relocate into an empty apartment, that should be stipulated, that there is no need for anyone to move and come back. Because you know if you move, you ain't coming back. Mm-hmm. All right? The reason why that young lady, and I'm glad that the Councilman Osborne, when you speak to the people from Housing Authority in regards to Section 8, the reason why that landlord will not sign that piece of paper for that young lady is because he's holding her hostage. He's making her stay there, because the minute he signs that letter saying that she can go, he has to fix it up in order to allow somebody else to move it, because nobody won't move in the conditions she's living in. And so, you know, that's why I talked about the fact that when Mr. Pennington was hired and the press conference was done up at Garden Spires, we're going to do that for every building, because we have a landlord-tenant issue throughout the entire city of Newark. And until this council comes together and enforce penalties that are going to be punitive enough for the landlords to turn around and hit them in their pocket and make them have to, well, we don't have the ability to make them live there because the court system has to do that. But we do have the ability to make them pay. Because I found it ironic when Senator Rice and Senator Cody, who wrote the bill that said if you turn around and get federal money and you have people living in slum-lord conditions, slum-like conditions, that you should be penalized, was standing out there in front of Garden Spires at the press conference that the mayor had talking about Garden Spires. Garden Spires didn't happen overnight. Okay? And we got 100 Garden Spires. Okay? We got the one on Martin Luther King Boulevard, owned by the same person. Okay? So our congressional, our county, our state, and our federal local officials who can make it to a press conference should be able to make it to a roundtable discussion, and let's talk about really doing something. That's right. Let's talk about really doing something, because if we keep talking about, you know, one person here, one Band-Aid over here, we ain't really getting to the core. What we are doing, folks, as elected officials now, is managing the poor. We're managing the poor. We're not doing what we're supposed to, which is taking the poor from out of the condition they are in and giving them the ability to afford affordable housing. We're not creating the job market that we're supposed to be creating, okay? The people who think they're going to be able to move in because there's an 80-20 thing going on, they had an 80-20 going on in New York for over 20 years, and they still were able to get people out. So until we turn around and stop talking about the Savior, or stop talking about if you disagree that you are some kind of person who has a hidden agenda, look at the people who are telling you stuff and doing something different. That's what a hidden agenda is called. That's proof of a hidden agenda. I say one thing and I do something else. Watch my hands, all right? It's three-card Monte being played, folks. All right? Watch the Queen and not this one.
Atlantic City.
Next speaker, Mr. President.
Rita Fontenberry.
Yeah.
She's not here.
Not here.
Atlantic City.
Louis Shockley.
Louis Shockley, 46. Man. Well, you open the door, Council. Let's talk about it.
Mr. Shockley,
Terrell Holmes.
Your address.
86 Napoleon Street. Let's talk about that meeting that transpired with Cirillo and Councilman Osborne and Councilman Amador. First of all, again, we're hiring people who have nothing and don't know what they're talking about. He told these people, about 90 people, at that meeting, oh, well, we're gonna keep this in-house. We want to keep local control. I'm scratching my head like, is he talking about the school board or is he talking about HUD? He told these folks he's gonna bypass the background check, screening. How's that possible? How's that? You guys can bend and twist a lot of laws and HUD regulations, but that one you can't break. Some of the people from Baxter Terrace are at Terrell Homes because they couldn't pass the background check. And where did this redevelopment plan come from with Terrell Homes? Where did that come from? The paper says demolish and remove. Don't say nothing about demolish, remove, and replace. That's not what they put in for. Baxter Terrace said that. It said removal, demolish, and replacement, and it's still a lot because they ain't got the money. Now, let's talk about affordable housing. What is affordable in this town? Go look at the public record. I make $54,000. I can't afford to live here. What's this affordable garbage y'all selling my people? $1,700 for a studio on Jones Street? And I got to deal with ShopRite traffic, fast food traffic, school traffic. And then I gotta look at a slum landlord across the street, new community, and a baseball field across the other side. Come on. $2,300 for a 2-bedroom, $2,700 for a 2-bedroom in the East Ward where I live at, $3,000 for a 2-bedroom. Who's affordable? All y'all talk about these folks who work in City Hall. The average person who works in this building don't make but $32,000. Come on. The guy out there throwing your garbage makes less than $28,000. Who's this affordable for? You want to talk about shenanigans and watch the tricks and the hands? I want to watch the hands that's been feeding me this garbage. If I got any business and my product is $150 for me to make money, how could I possibly sell it for $50? I'll be broke tomorrow. Be out of business tomorrow. $375,000 piece of property, or you can have it for $27. $400,000 property, or you can have it for $17. Prudential, whatever you want, you get it. Whatever you want. You want a building, you got it. You want the military park, you got it. Panasonic, what you want? You come in here, you get what you want. Oh, now we need you guys to get rid of this loan and forgive us these tax credits so we can sell this building. You got it. What you get, Newarkers? Nothing. 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 And like I said, the people in this room can run this place. Cirillo's a clown. Garcia's a clown, Carmelo. Where y'all get these folks from? I got qualified people in this room. Manera can do their job. Construction, affirmative action, she can do their job. Y'all crazy? Y'all paying these people $150,000, $200,000 to do what? To do what? Because I don't understand it. See, I was born and raised there. Y'all gonna have to blow me up out of here. And I want answers for that, for the 12 homes. I want to see series. I want you to ask all the questions, because y'all need to ask the questions, when the hell did they come up with this redevelopment plan all of a sudden? How the hell you gonna tell people you're gonna violate HUD regulations? HUD, H-U-D. You can't get around no background check. No way, no how. And for him to say that to 90 families is disingenuous. And for y'all to sit there and say it's disingenuous. Gonna talk about y'all didn't know this was happening. How you didn't know it was happening? You knew it was happening ever since y'all put that little park there. Because I told them folks in the East Ward, don't y'all go with that park. Because when that park comes, you're out. Reason why Felix Ford is gone, the reason why Seth is gone, the reason why Baxter Terrace is gone, because they ain't got a Reed Thorntonberry. They ain't got a Rosemary. They ain't got a Miss Brazil down there. They were unorganized and ill-prepared to deal with what Kennard had. And I'll end on this. If you need to get rid of a bunch of black people in the inner city, call Keith Kennard, because he's your guy. And you guys are just hastening this project. Y'all pushing us out further and further in the margin. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't stand up and fight, if you don't get your boots on and strap your pants up, you gonna be out.
Eric R. Lowe.
Mr. Lowe. Mr. Lowe is not here.
Earl Best, street doctor.
Mr. Best, yes.
Gonna get a job with street doctor.
Earl Best, street doctor, 148 Brunswick. Very briefly, God is good all the time, and all the time he's good. For now and forevermore, amen. I want to do this on my time. Rodney Gilbert, Oogie, and all the people you understand that was murdered or killed in Newark, I would like to have 10 seconds of silence for them. Thank you. My time. Thank you.
I'm sorry, for edification, you said Rodney Gilbert. Rodney Gilbert was not murdered.
No, I didn't. I said to the other people who was murdered.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So the reason I'm gonna be very brief and quick. The first one is the uniform. The second one is retirement, and the last one is the school tour and the murders, and I'm gone. The uniform which I got on today has been, since I've been wearing this uniform, I did over 300 funerals with this uniform. The reason why I have it on today, because this is a special occasion. November 2000, I came home from college. June the 13th, 1983, I left Newark on my way to a lot of colleges. The first one was the Union County Jail. The second was Broadway State Prison. The third one was Trenton State Prison. The fourth one was Broadway State Prison. Then I was on my way to Rikers Island, New York City, C-76, New York City, the Tombs, New York City, back to Trenton State Prison, MCU, which stands for Maximum Control Unit, in which I did 10 years in solitary confinement. I came out 1 hour a day. On this day, November 2000, I was released from Northern State Prison back to Newark. Today is 17 years I've been free.
Congratulations.
Retirement. I'm going somewhere with this. Retirement. April of this year, which I think is about 4 months, I retired from the city. The reason why I'm saying this is because I get people saying, why is you still, whatever. So you'll know today. For the reason I retired was for 2 reasons. First was my age. The second one was because the mayor, Raz Baraka, was asking people with the constructions and all this stuff that they was doing and all the money that's coming in is to get involved. So I believed in that. So what I did, I went and got involved. I got my LLC, right, from down at this place on Market Street, and I got a business. I have as Manira said, I have a construction, remediation. After I finish, I'll talk to you. Mitigation and a cleaning service, and it's hard. And let me tell you why it's hard, and y'all should know. Because a lot of stuff that when you get stuff for the city, it have to come through y'all. So if I would have still been working for the city, I wouldn't have been able to get some of this big money that's coming in. So I retired because it would have been a conflict of interest. So that's where I'm at now. We have an office and all that stuff, but that's something else. All right, real quick. I want to close out with this. A couple of days ago, I think it was 4 or 5 days ago, the mayor's doing a tour with the schools in the prison. So I'm on that tour. So they canceled the last tour because they said the mayor was in China. So I get a call from Tariq, and Tariq said, "Street, where you at?" I said, "I'm still in bed." He said, "You ain't coming to the..." I said, "No, I thought they canceled." He said, "No, the mayor's right here." I said, "Whoa." So I goes down, and I asked the mayor, I said, "Excuse me, was you in China?" And he said, "Yeah, I just got off the bus or whatever, And I'm bringing this up for this. And this don't have nothing to do with the people, because I deal with people as they is, right? And this been bothered me. Do the mayor, I'm talking about the mayor, Raz Baraka of Newark, do we do anything good? And let me tell you why I'm saying that. This real stuff I'm about to drop, right? Do we do anything good for the city? This is deep. And this ain't got nothing to do with the people that be, let me drop this, please, baby. This ain't got nothing to do with the people that want to run and all that stuff. You supposed to.
Wrap it up.
Let me just I don't come on here that much, but that bothers me. And the reason why it bothers me, right, because he do a lot of stuff good. So I want to close out with this. Why fit, this is a quote, why fit in when you was born to stand out?
Thank you. Next speaker. Cassandra Duck.
Cassandra Dock.
Good evening, Cassandra Dopp.
Good evening.
111 Mulberry Street. Last month, I was angry last month. Then I got some clarity. I did get a hold of the newspaper, the local talk. That did include my name with a bunch of lies, but I'll take care of that a little later. You know, sometimes people often ask me, Cassandra, why, when you have issues, you just can't call the person you have the issue with and talk about it with them, you know, maybe not publicly, but talk about it with them, not in public. And I say to people, I'm a public advocate. I talk about public issues. And I talk about them in a public forum. Why would I talk about public issues in secrecies? In a private forum. Because it's not private. Nothing that goes on in here, private. It's public. And the majority of times, we're talking about things that's on this agenda. Public. And, you know, Street is my friend, so let me just answer you, Street. There are some good things going on here. The mayor does some good, he does good things. But tearing down Terrell Holmes is not one of them. It's not one of them. Making comments that he made to me, it's not one of them. I can go on. Now, if he paved all these streets right here, that's on this list right here, because I have a list of streets that were supposed to be paved, and when they're supposed to be paved, then he did something good. So I'm gonna let all of you see it. I only have one copy. But if he didn't pave them, then it's not good. Because that means our cars, they're torn up. So it's not good. Now, let me move on. This week, the reason why we're having the meeting today, because this week, majority of the municipalities are down in Atlantic City at the League of Municipalities. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing if they did some of the things that you just talked about, Ms. Cheneyfield, if they got together and did a panel discussion about the very issues that impact their residents. You know, I'm not talking about the mayor of Gillette, I'm not talking about the mayor of Livingston, I'm talking about when they get down there and the darkies, and a few of the beige, because they're there too, if you talk about issues that affect your community, and then come back with some resolutions. But you're not doing that down there. Because you know what, not only would it be the best time to talk about it, because you have all your developers down there, you have the money down there, because they host the parties. That's not a bad thing either, because you do things for them. It's not bad. But get some good out of it. So, you said what? Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with cutting a deal, but cut a deal for people that, you know, to get some good out of it. Cut that kind of deal. And then you won't have no problems out of me. So, next, I want to talk about the good thing. You know, the first time I ever heard about Sheila Oliver becoming the running mate for Phil was, I think I was at the Women for Phil that included, and I think Bessie was the speaker, and Gail was there, and a couple of ladies, I get them, and a couple of ladies, and they were talking about Sheila, and when I first heard it, I was like, really? And then I said, okay, because it kept on, you know, other people would probably want to take credit and say that they're the ones that put Sheila on the ticket, but I don't think, no, that's the first time I ever heard it. And Sheila is my girl. That's my girl. But let me just put this in perspective here. Please, so that none of us are disappointed, that office was created in the event something happens to the governor. So it comes with no power. So let's be clear. So let's all, we happy, we're excited, but it comes with no power. That's why it was created. It was created because McGreevy stepped aside, and when Governor Christie came in, he created that position, and Kim had the position. And Kim did nothing but go around talking about she was helping to create small businesses or she was helping the small businesses. Please, Kim, please. Because a lot of times I was at those forums. Please, Kim, please. So when Sheila, when it comes to that, when Sheila is unable to do what we think should be done, know that the position never came with no power. Because when she had power, and she did have power as Speaker of the House, and a lot of times we talk about what the governor did, but who let him? Who let the governor do it? We controlled the House. We controlled it. All right, cousin, because you will get the police to sit me down. Like you did Mudira.
You know that.
That's right. Just one thing. You know what I find interesting? I find interesting that now when we talk or the public talks, it is now the definition of public discourse has changed. All right? So now if you say something, you're being critical. If you say something, you have ambitions. If you say something, you're being paid to come to the mic. If you say something, you're doing somebody else's bidding because they're scared to say it. When did it change, folks? You know, the reason why it changed is because some people can't stand to be criticized. Some people want to throw a rock, and then when you throw a rock at them, which is in the form of criticism, then it becomes this whole thing where they got to assassinate your character, talk about who you are and all this other stuff, sending people after you. They come after you in hidden ways and things like that. But when did it change? Because I remember a lot of people standing at that mic, myself included. And when I was critical of Corey, when I was critical of Sharp, when I was sitting here, it was called exchange, dialogue. When did we become a monolithic society in the city of Newark that we got a commander-in-chief? That if you can't say something about an issue, and without people invoking personality into this, why are people being questioned now as to standing up for their rights? People have been doing it since the beginning of time. You know, when we even talk about what we all know is going on, the silence, you know, because those who say something, you know, oh, you're being paid, or you have an ulterior motive. No, the subpoenas flying around ain't got nothing to do with us. All right? That got to do with what people did. And they didn't do it because no gun was stuck to their head. They did it because they got larceny in their heart, and that's what their intent was from day one. So the disparaging of people's characters or talking about the fact that, you know, people want something, at the end of the day, folks, this question comes down to everybody in the city of Newark. What about us? Everybody has the right. If nobody had stood up during the civil rights movement, none of us would be sitting here. You know, I had a person tell me that last Thursday they came in here to pay their taxes and were turned away in a nasty way. And the person said, listen, I'm getting on a plane on Friday to go see about my 98-year-old mother in Puerto Rico. I haven't had a chance. They were told, pay your taxes online. And the person said, I'm leaving Friday. And the person was begging. And so they said, pay your taxes online. He said, when I get to Puerto Rico, ain't no electricity. All right, but more importantly, I don't even know how to use a computer. When did we feel that it's okay? Because, see, it's happening in Washington, and it's happening in Newark. When did we start lowering our standards, that we start accepting bullying and people being disrespectful and city employees talking to residents any kind of way? When did we think, why is that now the normal as opposed to unacceptable? Why is it acceptable now for people in housing authority not to get a correct answer? from housing authority commissioners. Okay? So I just wanted to say that because based on what Street said and what you said, Cassandra, you know, nobody is perfect. Yes, some people have done good things. Some people have done good things up here. They have citizens that have done good things. But ain't nobody done everything 100% right, because nobody's name is God, contrary to what some people may think. So when you create a mistake or you do something that is hurtful to your own people, hurtful to one person, at least be able to say, I am sorry. Own it and apologize and say, let's move on. Don't keep mashing somebody down. Because you know what you do? You back people up into a corner, and guess what? They come out swinging. Because they want to survive too. You know, people want to step to people, you know, whether we counsel people or not. You know, everybody from Newark, okay? So everybody act like they the only ones from Newark. They want to step to you and say stuff about you. Come on and do that. Because we've now gotten into the age of bullying. We see it happening on Pennsylvania Avenue. We saw it happening at the State House. And we see it happening in our own municipality. Okay? So at the end of the day, yes, you can move on, Councilman. But at the end of the day, come on. This legislative body got to step up. We got to work together. The administration, we got to work together. You can't single certain people out.
Ms. Doug, Sheila Oliver was appointed to be the commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs. Is one of the most powerful positions in the state government.
And she selected that. That's one of the things in the Constitution, that the lieutenant governor gets to select their position. And at least she selected a position that you know DCA controls the money. And so for her doing that, she's not going to be your average lieutenant governor. That's right. She's not going to be your average.
Next speaker.
Kevin Cheatham.
Mr. Cheatham is not here.
Donna Jackson.
Ms. Jackson.
That's the best choice.
That's right.
We should get out of the Mr. Neff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good evening.
Donna Jackson, 128 Smith Street. And I love Miss Oliver too. And that is a very powerful position. But we all know the corruption that we come from.
Oh.
And the county of Essex is the most corrupt county in this state, damn near in this country. And for her to have that coming out of Joe D's office, I don't feel good. The county of Essex has forced people and caused people to lose their homes. They don't give that mortgage money like they supposed to. They don't give that rent money like they supposed to. These people that get the rent money, they done spent it before they get it. I'm not happy with that. No, I'm not. Now, if she show me a 360, I'll recant. But damn it, I know she ain't, because she can't. Because when you connected to this evil in this county, in this city, it's hard to shake it. That's why we don't do the right thing. That's why we got people sitting in here. TRA payments not made. Giving people TRA certificates for 6 months. Who gonna rent your apartment for 6 months? And unfortunately, it's happening more on the black side than the brown side. I know people that has had TRA for 4, 5, and 6 years. And I know people that ain't never had it and can't get it. Talking about myself too. Never. Did my food stamp application 3 years ago. Same thing going on now. Do y'all know what the backlog is for Medicaid at the county of Essex? Over 100,000 cases. Do y'all understand that people are now paying income tax penalties penalties for not having insurance because of us? And we thought taking city welfare and giving it to the county was a good thing? And know what you said? Oh yeah, massa, let's put all the niggers, no matter what color they are, in 18 Rector Street. Because we don't want them lines on South Clinton Street. Because we doing some things in East Orange. We coming up in East Orange. We got some New Yorkers moving in. So they don't want them long lines on South Clinton Street. And a white woman from Verona stood in that line on South Clinton Street for more than 4 hours. And what did we do? We went out and bought some more vans, Winnebagos. They go out to the suburbs. The hell with us down the hill. The hell with us down the hill. We are creating this homelessness. And I know it's hard to hear. But unfortunately, I'm doing 10 welfare hearings a week in administrative law court. And guess what? When down there, they got to bring the whole team. They got to bring 2 attorneys, 2 supervisors. You damn right, because I'll make them work. But these social workers lie. They lie. This woman did an activity from November 2016 to January 1st, 2017. None of that in her file. And she did it at 8 months pregnant. They forced her. The things they doing to people, I'm telling you, Aniba, I don't call you. Because it's nothing you could do. Because it's embedded in the system. And we're not going to fix it. How does a family move from Union County to Essex County and go from $400 a month food stamps, move over here, pay $200 more a month rent, and go down to $200? How the hell that happened? Essex County paying a different welfare and food stamp system? Yeah, we are. I know we're the largest county, but y'all ain't watching. You know why people come down here asking y'all for help? Because the system is broken. You can't live here and not know it is. How many calls does Donna field today? How many calls does your office field today? People ain't just asking y'all for no damn job. They need a place to live. South 11th Street, the ceiling fell on the lady. She's still in the hospital. We gonna do something? New Community Corporation still getting away with hell. Guess what, y'all? No fire alarm, no smoke alarm, no fire alarm system at all on South 8th Street, New Community. Now, we got 7 floors over there. Now, y'all done let New Community put up these new damn signs on these buildings, and they fixed a damn thing in an apartment. Who y'all playing with? I'm not interested in the people on Jones Street seeing no bright damn New Community sign while them people living in hell. We're not playing this game. Is everybody up to date on their taxes? Is everybody up to date on their water? Are they? Because see, while you're killing the homeowners in here, because y'all killing them, while y'all killing us, you letting these big people get away again. Is everybody up to date? Don't come after no homeowners till you take care of the corporations. And let me end with this. Raz, nobody don't like you. And the reason they don't is because you're not taking care of the residents who have invested and stayed here. You are not taking care of us. There's an article in the paper today, Mr. Baraka. You want to do something good because you ain't did nothing. They selling houses in Baltimore for $1, Raz. $1. You want residents in North to get on board? We ain't. Selling for $1, Raz. You're forcing us to live in hell. You guys got to do something. We still doing 5 to 10 shootings a day, and you're still silent. You can't keep doing this. You got to say something. What we putting a new property on Irvin Turner for, and it's next to a damn abandoned building? Who wants to live there?
Thank you.
Ms. Jackson. Ms. Jackson, one of the things... Just one thing in regards to the New Community properties, Ms. Jackson, with New Community did get some tax abatements for their properties. They did renovate all of 72 Hayes Street. They did do 180 and 265 they're working on. And one of the things that I did say to New Community when I met with them in regards to the properties in the Central Ward, but also the properties in the West Ward, 545 and 1 South 8th Street. You can't get these tax abatements and not do the right thing, okay? You cannot get them, and I found it interesting that New Community was with the inclusionary zone ordinance, because they closed the door on everybody else, but made sure that they got through in time with their tax abatements, but that's another story for another day. But you're absolutely right in regards to the killings. We have got to sit down as a council and administration with the public safety and talk about it and do something about it, because first of all, even with the trauma that our employees are suffering, I mean, when the young man got killed over in sanitation, you know, are we getting counseling for these people? You know, and don't write it in the paper like it didn't happen. Don't write it like you did with the young gentleman who got killed over there in front of public health, and act like he was just some stranger walking by and happened to get shot. We're being traumatized, folks, and putting our heads in the sand or drawing a line in the sand is not going to end it. Because at the end of the day, we have to understand. Like Lou said, you're going to have to blow me up to get me up out of the city of Newark. Because I was born and bred and raised here. My family got deep roots here too. I've been, but I don't break. Okay? So at the end of the day, we would do more by having a collaboration than not doing anything or saying anything.
You're out of order.
I'm the man myself. Come on, stop that. I came down here on my own. I've been doing this crazy shit for 18 years.
Oh, whoa.
Hey.
Don't do that, man. Come on, don't get it twisted.
Next speaker.
Catherine McCrae.
What about Opal? Opal Wright.
She's not on the list. Is Miss McCrae coming to the microphone? Is Miss McCrae?
Officer.
Put the gloves on.
Officer, remove him.
Both of them.
Remove both. Well, you better behave.
It's my first time in a long time doing this, so check me out, okay? Just in case I'm doing something wrong. Pencil. Bro.
Calm down, please. Calm down. Calm down. Ms. McRae, go ahead.
I don't have to touch that, do I?
Ms.
I don't touch this, do I? No. Okay. Now?
Now you
Hi.
Officer, let's take care of business here.
Best, let me get my word in, Mr. Best. I know him. Okay, hi. My name is Catherine McCrae. I'm from 555 Elizabeth Avenue.
What's a second? Let's say
Street. Come on.
You know better than that.
Oh, help, Best. Oh, God. What got him riled up?
Somebody's going to get arrested.
Go ahead, Ms. McRae.
Good evening.
Good evening.
To all. My name is Catherine McCrae. I live at 555 Elizabeth Avenue, Newark, New Jersey, and my subject immediately is a slumlord is not the same as a landlord.
That's right.
So I moved into this location in 2014 in the May, and I was under the impression that I had moved in a place that had a landlord, because I knew of the place from back in the 70s. My mom's friends and them was nurses and such things, used to live in those apartments back when that building first went up. So I didn't know that it had changed so drastically. Cut to the chase, I gave them a list of stuff to fix by 2015. It's 2017. So February of 2000 of this year, now they had been in my apartment, I don't know how many times, and they just keep looking at stuff, but they don't ever fix anything. And what you keep coming in my house for? Because I don't like strangers in my house. I don't invite strangers. I don't have the door-to-door, the man, Avon lady. Nobody comes to my house anymore. Those days are long gone. And you don't come in my house, frequently, whether you're the maintenance people or not. I don't know you. You're not my family. Some of my family I don't even allow in my residency for whatever reasons. They're not allowed to come to my home. Your home is supposed to be your castle and your sanctuary, and you're supposed to have safety and security wherever you live, and that I don't feel at this location anymore. So in February, they came in again, and they looked at the same thing they looked at since I've been there, and still didn't fix anything. So, I called the state, and code enforcement of Newark, they're fully aware of me and the situation, because they've been out there several times. So the state also came out, and then I got a lot of backlash from February to August. I stopped paying rent, forced them to take me to court, so I paid it into escrow. All right, so it was released in August. Okay, I released it in August because now you done ruined my whole summer, half my winter. I'm trying to enjoy the rest of my life, at this point, A lot of things are going on in the world with people. You're losing family members, people are getting hurt, people getting ill. You got to find sunshine some kind of way that you can find it. I try to find it in where I pay rent at once I lock my doors. So when I released the rent in August, okay, they still really hadn't fixed anything. They still do the same thing, come in and just look. So after that, now the things still aren't fixed. So that my tub backs up for the first time, and I don't know, ever that I lived there. It backed up with all this gooky black stuff, and it took them about a week and a half to come and fix that, to get that done. I had to rent a hotel room one time just to take a shower or a bath, or go to a couple of friends' houses within that week's time to keep myself, clean and healthy, They had all these reasons why they just didn't get out to fix that. And then I'm trying to make it real quick and simple, but to me it's not really simple and quick, because since I've complained to the state and the city, I have just recently been attacked, assaulted in this building on this property on October 3rd. Some lady walked up to me. I don't know her name. She lives there, and I know she lives there, but I don't know her name or what floor she lives on. And she walked up to me, put her finger in my face, and said, "I'm sick of you." And I want to know. No, dark skin, and just look like somebody that it's not somebody that I know personally, okay? But she walks up and says, "I'm sick of you," and she pushes me, shoves me, and I fall back on my coccyx bone and back, but I jump right up, reflexes, because now I'm ready to get at her. Don't ever put your hands on me for whatever reasons you think you have a right to. Once you physically assault someone for whatever reason that you don't like what they said, or even like what they doing, Maybe I'm not doing anything to them or saying anything negative. Oh, my time went too quick. May I just finish my quick statement or?
Wrap it up, yes.
And so, make this story short, I called the police. I wasn't the management of the building. This was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Did not release to me the lady's name. Didn't give me the incident report because they put her up to that. Now I could have been paralyzed, broke my back, or anything. They shuffled her off into the building, got in the middle of me, and told me they not snitching. Now this is the management of this place. Told me they not snitching, and they was trying to keep me from getting stomped. And so when he said not snitching, this is one of the
Wrap it up.
Guys. Okay, well, y'all spent all y'all time fighting with Bess, so I'm going to eat a couple of seconds real quick. Thank you, because I see y'all gave me 13 seconds or something. But anyway, they say they're using terms like not snitching, and then they tried to keep me from getting stomped. I know what's all of that going on, that somebody was trying to stop me because I reported them to the state and the city. And still nothing is being done. And I haven't been able to file proper harassment with restraint charges on the person and the tenant because the management refuses to tell me who it is.
Thank you, Ms.
And I want an
McRae.
investigation. It's not a thank you, sir. I want to.
Well, thank you. Your time is up. Your time is up, ma'am. You have exceeded your time by a minute. Officer. Please. No, you have exceeded your time by a minute. You concluded it already.
Ms. McCray, what we'll do is we'll make sure that we contact the tax assessor's office to see if it's the same property owner. Ms. Evans, who used to live there, you're not the first tenant who lived at 555 that has had that same kind of complaint. So we're going to see if the landlord is the same person, the same LLC, which it probably isn't. And what we will do is make sure that we contact them and send a letter saying that they have to give us the information as to who the complaint should be made out so you can turn around and serve them with papers, okay? All right, so we'll take care of that, ma'am.
Thank you.
See, and
Mr. Clerk, let's go to the agenda.
Is there anyone in the chamber that was not present when their name was originally called?
Nobody.
Mr. President, that concludes the list of speakers for this evening. The next hearing of citizens will take place on December 6th, beginning at 12:30 p.m. here in the council chamber. To the agenda. Council of the whole to accept the reports of the boards and commissions.
Roll call.
yes.
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 Ordinance is on first reading. 6FA is an ordinance granting a 5-year tax abatement to the residential property located at 625 Hunterdon Street. Council of the whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance on public hearing, second reading and final passage. 6PSNFA is a ordinance granting a 5-year tax abatement to the real property located at 137 Bel Air Place. excuse me. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing.
Motion to close the public hearing and adopt. Council of the whole.
Roll call.
Yes. Yes. Excuse me.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys sick?
B is an ordinance ratifying and authorizing the execution of a lease agreement between the Hilo Holding Inc. as a landlord and the City of Newark Department of Public Safety as the tenant to house the police helicopter at a portion of the hangar operated by HHI. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one present.
No one appearing. Motion to close the public hearing and adopt. Council of the whole.
Wait a second.
What's the location of the helicopter?
No, I suppose it's not.
You know where?
I don't.
Are we using so the question would be, I know it costs a lot to put it in the air. I know the gas is an issue. I see, I got a concern with $7,200 a month, but if I think we need to look around and make sure that's the comparable rate.
That's the 72 is for the year.
But it's $7,200 monthly.
No. Monthly.
Yes.
No, some.
Annual.
Oh, well, then let's look at the same. Oh, wait, is it on that other paper? It's on the yellow one?
It's $7,200 plus monthly cost.
Oh, plus
for
monthly cost.
utilities.
Thank you so much. This is why we're family.
in
Donna
Kearney,
says plus
Donna.
monthly cost. Amen.
It's in Kearney.
Amen.
But
Yeah. It's in Kearney.
Kearney.
oh, that's not far. Okay. That was my concern. I just was making sure we weren't using a lot of gas to park it. Okay, amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I wish I could phone this in.
Yes.
C is an ordinance amending section 23:2-1 one-way parking. This would amend the one-way street designation of East Runyon Street between Elizabeth Avenue and Freelandheising Avenue. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
Yes, is the traffic going,
Your name and
down at Jackson 128 Smith Street, is the traffic going toward Freelyhousing or coming away from Freelyhousing?
you're asking the wrong.
Yeah. Because it will impact the traffic, and the only reason why I'm asking. Because, you got a lot going on Elizabeth Avenue.
Do we know?
We redoing that area.
I don't
Okay.
understand.
All
There's a
right.
one-way
No
going from Elizabeth Avenue down to Frida Heights.
Yeah, but
Going east. There's a one-way going east.
but they changing it to a one-way. It's a two-way
Not a
now.
one-way. It's a one-way coming down to Elizabeth Avenue.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
But it's a one-way from Elizabeth Avenue to
No,
Frida
this is the
Heights.
street that's on the side of Shabazz. This is a two-way. Now, I'm not talking. We talking about West Runyon. Is it West Runyon?
East Runyon.
East Runyon. Okay, so at the
We'll defer.
John isn't here. so
John is not here, so
Yeah,
let's
because
defer
it's
it.
already a one-way.
Councilman James, could you please report to the council chamber?
Yeah.
We need some. Okay. Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, it's a
You
one-way already.
do that.
I don't-
Mr. Councilman James, could you please report to the next special? Give us some clarification on the one-way
Yes.
sign, sir, and the traffic impact on Elizabeth Ave. Thank you very much.
Let's defer it and leave the hearing open.
Council.
He wants to speak.
But leave it open. The next time it comes, you can come back.
No, he's talking about
I just give a
himself.
little bit of dialogue on this particular ordinance. On behalf of the South Ward, I'm a Republican district leader up near Avon Avenue. This particular ordinance in the East Runyon area, because of the amount of the gateway funding that's coming to that area, we have a Port Authority meeting in the South Ward on November 28th, and we just want this council to look at all sides of any ordinance pertaining to residential or commercial zoning in that area, because that area is going to go through an entire revamping. So if we could not be premature on moving
We'll
so
defer
rapidly?
it. We'll defer it, and we'll reconsider it the next time.
Okay, all right, so
Sir.
you'll table it?
No, we are deferring it.
Deferring it, defer. Thank you, Mr.
Sir,
Mayor.
would you put your
All right.
name on the record, please?
What's your name and address?
Che Coulter, Republican Party,
And your address?
783 South 11th Street.
Okay, thank you. Roll call to defer.
I can't wait.
I don't know why they're amending that street. On a one-way.
Yes, to defer.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
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 Resolutions. Resolution 7R1A is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract for nursing services for community health. At the request of the administration, council of the whole to return to administration.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 President Gonzalez.
Yes.
B is an ordinance, is a resolution authorizing the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide computer paper. C is a resolution authorizing the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide waste receptacles. D is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide fire hoses and fittings.
Keep going.
E is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration to use the state contract for the purchase of software services. F is a ratifying authorizing resolution but for the Department of Administration for a budget insertion for the WIC program. Through 7R1F, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
7R2A is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment. This is redevelopment for project warehouse distribution and light manufacturing. Councilman Ramos wishes to move, second by Councilwoman Cheneyfield Jenkins.
It was the other way around, so.
Oh,
The other way around.
reversing that.
This is the one in the Central Ward.
Yeah, the Passaic Street. So,
And Mr. Chair, Mr. President, again, just make the correction on the record that these lots are not in the North Ward, that they're Central Ward lots.
I thought it was just Passaic that was the Central Ward. The rest of them were North Ward.
No, they're
No,
all,
this is the one in the Central Ward.
they're all Central
Okay.
Ward.
It's the same
Well, okay.
properties,
Well,
just.
Cheneyfield Ramos.
Let's amend this to a resolution to amend this resolution.
Yes.
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 Now saying mover and second to adopt as amended.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 2B is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment. This is where Newark resident intends to rehabilitate the property for owner-occupied housing. C is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment. This would create an extended parking for the entity's adjacent business.
Keep going.
D is a authorizing resolution for private sale and redevelopment for auxiliary parking for the adjacent business.
Keep going.
E is a authorizing resolution for private sale for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and hold on. Let's stop at 7R2D through 7R2D. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
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 Ramos,
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
7R2E is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment. This is rehabilitation properties as rental or for sale housing. Councilman Ramos wishes to defer action this time, second by Councilman Gonzalez.
Yes. Roll call.
Chittister Jenkins,
Yes.
McCallum,
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Quintana,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
7R2F is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment. This is rehabilitate property to extend the local community daycare center. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
This is 2F.
Yes.
You know, I don't know anything about this.
It's in the West Ward.
Yeah, I
You gonna
know.
defer it?
And, yeah, defer it. Yeah, I don't know.
Change your votes.
Yeah, we have to continue with the
So on Marsac
roll call,
Place.
no, and then
And,
You're in the middle of a roll call, you could just change.
you can change your vote.
Just, if we're, just everyone abstain to
Abstain,
complete the roll
abstain,
call.
yeah, everyone abstain, and
yeah,
Complete the
Change
roll
my
call.
vote to abstention.
28 Marsac.
Complete the roll call.
abstain.
Abstain.
Osborne,
Abstain.
Quintana,
Abstain.
Ramos,
Abstain.
President Gonzalez.
Abstain.
No,
And I would ask Economic Development, I mean, we've been going through this for a long time now. If they would come, it's like 2 or 3 properties that's up here in the West Ward. I haven't talked to anybody about it. I don't know anything about it.
motion by Councilman McCallum to defer action at this time?
Do we have to?
Yes.
If we,
No,
we
it failed to
abstain,
adopt, so it'll just roll over.
It's going to be
Okay.
on the next
It'll
agenda
roll over.
anyway.
Go to 7R3A is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Engineering for the application and acceptance of grant funds for the NJDOT 2018 grant. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Jenkins,
Yes.
McCallum,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Quintana,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
5A is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Health and Community Wellness, the acceptance of grant funds to upgrade the city's public health emergency preparedness.
Do the next one.
5B is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Health and Community Wellness for an application and acceptance of grant funds. This is for the WIC program. Through 5B, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
McCallum,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
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 President Gonzalez.
Yes.
7R6A is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Law for a settlement of workers' compensation. Council of the Whole.
Roll call.
Jenkins,
Yes.
McCallum,
Abstain.
Osborne,
Yeah, abstain.
Quintana,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
Fails.
Fails.
Fails to
Not
adopt.
here, we're not here this morning.
9A are various expressions of profound sorrow and regret. 8A, 8B are various recognizing and commending resolutions. Through 7R, 8B, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 President Gonzalez.
Yes.
10, Resolution 7R10A is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Public Works for an extension of emergency contract for street sweeping. Council of the Whole.
Roll call.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Quintana,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
To the added starter sheet. 7R2G is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for a public real estate auction. This is to accept bids and execute quitclaim deeds for properties sold at the public auction on November 2nd, 2017.
Yeah, let me say something before we vote on this. Let's say we had an auction that was very successful. The prices seem to be going up. However, we are requesting 10% deposit, and the 10% is of the original price. So someone is buying a property for $400,000 and they put down $2,742. I believe that we have to get away so that the individual that is successful comes up with the 10% of the purchasing price and not 10% of the original selling price that was, in this case, $27,000. So we should give him, let's say, until the next day, close of business of next day, to bring the remaining deposit, so that if something happens, we have a big chunk of money as a deposit instead of having $2,700, and they're holding this
property.
They're holding this property for $2,000. If something were to happen to them and they say the contract falls through or whatever, we don't have money to remedy any loss in value.
Yeah, Mr. President?
Yes.
The other thing is that this comes to us as an added starter, so we don't even have an opportunity to review the proposed purchase price for the properties that were auctioned off. You know, it's not in Legistar accessible.
We had a list.
Yeah, we just got it like a few hours ago before the meeting.
Yes, I believe that I support the selling of the properties, and I believe we should close as soon as possible so that the city can use the $2.6 million that is being generated by the sale. However, I believe that we should have some time to review it.
Where's the list?
And Council President, we do have the list, Councilman. I'll get it to you now. And again, this is my first time in my capacity going through this auction process, and I do agree with you that we should be collecting the 10%. You know, it's a $2.6 million revenue stream, but it's only $154,000 in deposits that we receive. So we should be more proactive in that, and we will. There will be a directive. I was talking to the legal director with respect to that, because when I looked at the numbers, you know, to me it was, you know, baffling as well. Why are we, in some cases, 13,000 here, 2,000 there? It wasn't really 10% of what that purchase price is. So that will be a directive moving forward for future auctions, which I do believe rather than doing, you know, quarterly auctions, we are going to go into a direction of doing more monthly auctions, you know, to make the process just completely, you know, publicly transparent.
Thank you.
How you doing? I'm Acting Deputy Mayor Director Carmelo Garcia.
Stay your name and
That's all right.
Stay your name.
I just heard it. She's just messing around. So, Council President, we will, that's a directive that is being issued to the Director of Property Management moving forward, that we have to make that requirement, as well as, you know, on the closing, make the time frame more realistic, and moving forward, we're going to be doing more auctions than just quarterly auctions.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Councilman Ramos, you ready to move or? Yes. Let's
roll call, Council of the Whole.
Call.
Jenny Phil Jenkins.
Abstain.
Gotta say their name when they come up here. And address.
Abstain.
Osborne.
Yes.
Quintana.
Abstain.
Ramos.
Abstain.
Yes.
Fails to adopt.
Yeah, and Mr. President, could
Yes.
we also get, you know, I don't have a problem once I have an opportunity to review this, putting this on the special, but we've had a few of these auctions, and I know for a fact there's some properties in the North Ward that have been sold over the last few years, and, you know, I just want to see, like, what's the activity level? What's happening with those properties that have been sold in previous auctions? Has developers, have they been successful in closing and getting projects going? as opposed to some of these properties laying dormant and potentially being on the list.
That was one of the things that the director of the department mentioned, that they are going to expedite the process by which these developers develop the property.
That's correct, Council President and Councilman. It is a lot of cleaning up and reforming that we're doing right now, because clearly there was no real metrics as far as to the milestones that should be achieved within all of these when the transactions are made. So we are doing that, and you will see for the next council meeting that there will be a spreadsheet that's just identifying all of the properties that have been sold and where they are within that 18-month period or that 6-month period, 9-month period, as it is agreed upon in the financial agreement when the properties are conveyed. Because it was, unfortunately, some of these things were being done in silos, and we're trying to just, smash these silos and ensure that we're doing it in a manner that holds everyone accountable to really meeting those milestones and the promise that is made within that transaction.
But even if, let's say, if we were to demand that development take place, let's say, within 12 months, what would be the remedy if they don't?
We have a reverter clause in all of these agreements. The city has the right, once it triggers the reverter, we can take that property back, put it back into an auction, do an RFP, or simply do a redevelopment agreement for another use and another proposal that might be available.
Usually those reverter clauses are very difficult to have a court implement them or allow you to take the property back from someone that purchased the property. It's very, very difficult. I believe that no court in New Jersey would allow you to take the property back from an owner that purchased the property. So I believe that we have to do better than that. I believe that it has to be in the upfront and not in the back, let's say the back way, to make sure that we have the development take place, because I don't think that any court in New Jersey would allow you to take the property back from somebody that purchased it.
And historically, that has been somewhat of the case, but unless you're enforcing from a compliancy regulatory standpoint, the milestones that are set in there. See, the problem that I have observed is that if we're not enforcing those requirements, yes, there's no court that's going to say the redeveloper buyer is non-compliant, right? Because you didn't do your part, City of Newark. But if we're doing that, then I think that we have a greater shot to build a case that says, no, look, you know what, they're land banking at this point, because everything that we said they would do in the 6 months, they didn't do. Even in the first 3 months, a letter, what should be happening is a letter should automatically go out to that buyer, redeveloper, saying, by this date, you were supposed to do X. You did not do that. Therefore, unless in 30 days you do this, this is the penalty, basically, that's assigned to it. So that's something that, we're working on. I mean, it's only been for me, 45 days to dissect everything, and it's a lot. But we're not blaming you. Yeah. So we're reforming as much as I can within a short window of time that I have. So I ask you for your indulgence and your patience, but I'm confident that as I'm listening more and more and dissecting more and more and putting things under the microscope, we will be having reforms that each division chief will be enacting and will be held accountable to.
In 2006, Cory Booker's administration took back properties from a lot of people who had been designated, okay? So there is precedent already. But to that case, there was a class action lawsuit that was brought by Citizen Booker and some other residents that Judge Patricia Costello put an injunction on any properties being sold. But at the count, Citizen Booker became Mayor Booker, there were properties that had been voted on prior to him becoming mayor, that those resolutions are still in existence. And those properties, some of those properties have been given to other developers. So in your graph, please explain to this legislative body who authorized sales of properties because it had to be done privately that the legislative body didn't vote on. The administration proposes, but the council disposes. So if you don't have a resolution that was voted on by the council taking back the property, how can that property be given to someone else? And I want a legal opinion from the law department as well as from Elmer Herman and Ron Thompson doing something. But the other issue is, I've been hearing the conversation surrounding properties in the city of Newark that is committed to somebody else, or it's somebody else's property. There is no such thing as a preliminary designation. That's somebody promising somebody some land, and they're going to get it. Now, based on the simple fact that transparency is necessary, especially when these land deals are going on, we need to see all pre-designated properties, all properties that have pre-designations already in existence. All right? And this whole thing would you please instruct your staff to stop saying to people that property is committed to somebody?
Yes.
Because it sends a horrible message to the community and to developers.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Duly noted, and again, there'll be, so if I'm clear, what I'm going to provide this council in the immediate future is for all wards, specifically for your wards, but just overall, all properties that have been designated previously by virtue of a preliminary designation letter, which under the ordinance, currently the Director of Property Management is allowed to do, unless, and I'll have the law department and our legal also look at that. So that's what's been done in the past, and so anything that's been preliminary designated or that is in the process of an RDA, whether it be those direct sales or that of the RDA, we will share with you. Whatever is in the pipeline, you will see. You will have whatever we know of, you should know of.
And I will provide to you those resolutions that the property is still, was part of the initial lawsuit, that was never taken back because, number one, the properties I'm talking about, in the development agreement, there was never a reverter clause. So they didn't have a time frame. So they could sit on the property, which they have obviously done over 12 years, and they want to develop it. But when they brought it to the city, they've been told time and time again, it's committed to someone. So I'm just curious, how can somebody make that statement, it's been committed to someone, when in fact there was never a resolution done by the legislative body to take the property back?
So there are a couple of situations like that I'm looking into, and I've called for a review of how did that happen, so that, as you noted, if there was a resolution authorizing the conveyance of those properties to that particular buyer, redeveloper, how is it that, because their market trends, their market changes. Back then, 12 years ago, the market wasn't as confident, and getting as stronger as it might be getting today, or it might become stymied and flatlined, in the immediate, in the next few months or by 2018. However, right now, if those redevelopers or buyers that did not have that reverter clause within that agreement want to come forward and really redevelop them, then we should be welcoming that and taking the lead on that, so we can get these sites that are blighted, vacant or abandoned, just completely, redeveloped.
Especially because the ones I'm referring to are definitely in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Clerk?
Resolution 7R8A is an expression of profound sorrow and regret. Council of the Whole.
You approve that?
That's for Rodney Gilbert. Yes,
Yes.
it's on the back of the page.
Yes, roll call.
Jenkins?
Yes.
McCallum?
Yes.
Osborne?
Yes.
Yes.
Ramos?
Yes.
President Gonzalez?
Yes.
Back to the regular agenda. We are on the bottom of page 23. 8A is ordinance granting a 5-year tax abatement to the residential property located at 511 5th Street. Council of the whole to advance to first reading.
Reading, yes.
Yes.
McCallum,
Yes.
Osborne, Quintana,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
8B is an ordinance granting a 5-year tax abatement to the residential property located at 338 South 6th Street. Council of the whole to advance to first reading.
Yes. Roll call.
Yes.
McCallum,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Quintana,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Back to the added starter page. 8C is an ordinance granting a 15-year tax abatement to Livingston Urban Renewal LLC for a project to acquire 82 affordable rental housing units and properties located on 18-30 17th Avenue, 152-164 Irving Turner Boulevard, 168-184 Irving Turner Boulevard, 194-200 Irving Turner Boulevard, and 202-208 Irving Turner Boulevard.
Adopt on first.
Yes.
Council of the whole to advance to first reading?
Yes. And adopt.
Advance and adopt on first.
Advance.
And adopt on
Advance and
first
adopt on
reading.
first?
Yes.
Yes.
Advance and adopt on first. This will be 6FB.
Yes.
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 8D is an ordinance granting a 15-year tax abatement to Somerset Urban Renewal LLC to acquire and rehabilitate 38 affordable rental housing units located on real property commonly known as 219-239 Clinton Avenue.
Yes. We.
Advance and adopt
Yeah.
on first reading, but that's South, isn't that South Ward?
Not Central.
Central Ward.
Clinton Avenue? 219-239 Clinton?
Not Central.
Is?
I mean, yeah.
Ask Louis. Louis knows.
Right, it is Central.
Okay.
This will be 6FC.
Now.
Yes.
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Quintana,
Well, that's down by the
Ramos,
McDonald's.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
8E is an ordinance amending ordinance 6PSE FE adopted September 5th, 1973. Ordinance 6PF and FC adopted September 5th, 1973. And Ordinance 6S and FD adopted March 4th, 1981, to remove reservations granted to the city for the purpose of maintaining and operating a certain water main, and to authorize the execution of an agreement for the relocation of the water main and the execution of permanent easement for the maintenance and relocation of the water main.
Explain to.
What the heck is that?
I'm sorry.
This was something on Avenue A and Avenue A and Avenue B.
Right.
Avenue B, that those streets at one point in time apparently were vacated,
Yes.
and the owner of the property gave the right to the city to enter the property and move the water connections and the telephone connections and all that stuff. Now they want us to exchange that for the possibility of going there, and they are going to allow the moving of the water connection and the telephone connection and all that, and then we are going to have the right to go and do repairs to where they move this new utilities.
And it would be on their dime. That's correct, Council President. And it would be on their dime, on the redeveloper's dime.
Yes, to move the utilities.
That's correct. Who's also remediated the site. That's a 300,000 square foot site that is going to bring about 500 jobs to Newark. So that's the whole purpose of why we need to advance this one.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, let's adopt and move, and
Advance and adopt on
advance
first.
to first.
This would be 6FD. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Ghana,
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
Mr. President, the ordinance adopted on first reading today will be advertised in accordance with law, and a public hearing will be held at the Public Council meeting of December 6th, beginning at 12:30 p.m. here in the council chamber. I have one pre-printed motion given to me by Councilwoman Gail Cheneyville Jenkins announcing the annual holiday tree lighting. This is set for Monday, November 27th at 4 p.m., 4 to 8 p.m. in the Championship Plaza at Prudential Center. Free events for all, free photos with Santa, fun games, kiddie trains. November 27th. Council of the Whole?
Well, she's going to do some others.
I just want to do one thing in regards to the street cleaning bid. We asked about the bid and when it was going out. So I just want to, I had a chance to look it over. The street cleaning bid appears to be asking for prevailing wages for street sweeping. If that's the case, the current vendors could wind up paying $76 per hour for a street sweeper without benefits, which could be 3 times more than what it currently is now approximately, so at $25 an hour. So could we get some clarity from that department? Maybe I'm reading the bid wrong. I just need clarity. The way it appears from me looking at the bid specs. In addition, the city is asking for 2010 sweepers as the minimum. The vehicles have to be at least 2010 or whatever. And from my understanding from the industry is that the average shelf life of these vehicles is 5 years. And if it's 5 years, why wouldn't, because the contract is going to start in 2018, why wouldn't we be asking for vehicles at least that are 2015? So if it's a 3-year contract, at least we're not going into 2018 with 9-year-old vehicles. If it's 2010 and we have it for 3 years, then it's already worn out. So just give me clarity as to why we're doing it that way. And then the last thing is that the bid appears to be asking for a lane mile contract as opposed to a per truck sweeper per day contract. And I was always, that's something we've never done before because the lane mile normally is done with a county road or a highway where it's a straight stretch and you're going straight down and you're doing the sweeping without any impediment. And so if they're going now where they're doing it in the city, like the case where they would be going from street to street, who's going to be doing that calculating? To say per mile, per lane daily? Because they're saying in the RFP that it has to be done daily. And I just want to know who's going to be doing that calculation on a regular basis. It's not going to change the cost, but it's going to change accountability. And, we don't have that great a track record on somebody being able to do that on a daily basis. And what is the reason for it going to that kind of process?
Good evening, Michael Green, Assistant Business Administrator, City of Newark. Ma'am, to your questions, I know the Department of Public Works had an outside consultant, Mont McDonald, to provide those specs. So like you were saying in the past, our specs weren't the greatest, so we had an outside consultant consult for us and say, hey, these are the specs that you should utilize. Now, to your point, I know of different companies that want to respond to that bid also can ask questions of the department, and they'll get the response to each one of them and give them clarity if there are specific issues with the specs.
Well, give me some clarity, because when he did his analysis, or when they did that particular outside entity, tell them to give me as a council person the reason why they decided to make those changes. Okay? Just like with NW Financial, when they make a recommendation on any kind of tax abatement, they have to give us a summary as to why they made that decision. So we need to know why they made those kinds of decisions. Why did they lower it down to 2010 for a vehicle. And is that going to impact us with sweepers might being broken down or whatever before they get to the bidding process?
The year of the machines as well as the linear per mile.
Right. Why did they put that into the specs? I mean, it was a reason.
I'll make sure I get that clarity from the contractor and provide to the clerk.
Thank you. And I just want to thank all my council colleagues for indulging me and allowing me to leave.
No, we can't close the meeting without you.
Yes, you can. You got five, okay? But
Roll call for
my, yes.
We're leaving.
You're not all leaving, so thank you.
Go ahead.
Anybody else?
No motions, let's go.
Motions?
let's vote on her announcement.
Yeah, but that's the motions, right?
Yes.
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 Yes. Councilman Ramos, you have motions?
Yeah, just real quick, first of all, I want to thank the administration for following through. I know I got a few emails concerning the fact that the city had not paid, our street sweeping vendor. Every Thursday morning, I look forward to seeing that truck go down Lake Street and sweep my street, as I'm sure every resident in the city looks forward to the same thing. And just a second motion through your chair and the clerk. Some time ago, I had requested that the clerk's office, through our attorneys and whoever else is important in that particular department, to assist me in figuring out a way where we can train and deputize our aides to assist in the code enforcement process. I had a meeting the other day with Anthony McMillan from the Newark Downtown District, and some of his staff is already involved in assisting code enforcement and identifying issues pertaining to the downtown district that correlate with code enforcement. I want to be able to do the same, at least with my aides, and I'm sure other council people would want to do that as well. And that's a way that we can assist the department and, most importantly, be more responsive to our residents. So I want to see some follow through on that. And Irvington already does it as well. Township, through the mayor there, they've been able to deputize directors and other people to assist in the code enforcement process.
That would be a way to multiply the.
Second. Okay, let's go.
Roll call.
Irvington.
Absent.
And the North Downtown District.
Yes.
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 I have one.
Any more motions?
We all yield.
No, I just have one. I just want
John's
to.
got
I
140.
want to congratulate all my veteran brothers on their service.
Have a seat.
I'm talking to you too, 10-4. I'm congratulating all my veteran brothers and sisters. That's right. We had a good Veterans Day. Matter of fact, we had on Saturday, I want to thank Ken, we had a town hall meeting down in the Rotunda where veterans were allowed to speak and share their experiences. And I stopped through. It was nice. It wasn't very crowded, but it was the first year we did it, so I want to congratulate everyone. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Roll call.
Get your turkeys.
Yes.
10-4. You're getting your
Thanks
turkeys.
for your service. Yes.
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 Ramos.
Yes.
President Gonzalez.
Yes.
Get your turkeys.
Council of the whole to adjourn?
Yes. Motion.
Hey, 10-4.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
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 Your turkey.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
You back on the mic?
You got your turkey.